Welcome to the close. Yeah, a couple hours left in what's turning out to be a pretty exciting day here. Individual stocks giving you all kinds of opportunities this afternoon. We saw that move on Twitter. Now back higher, trying to get back higher on significant volume off that headline from Reuters again. It looks like Elon putting any efforts to find more financing to help get this deal done on hold until he gets more information about these fake accounts. But as Trader Brad was saying, maybe just a way for him to sidestep this deal. I mean, it's 35 billion, I think was the number if he doesn't want to do this. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about where we're at right now. 0.31 there for the S&P. Back to the upside. The Dow 0.3 as well, 0.3 for the NASDAQ. As I was saying when I came on an hour or so ago, a little bit higher and then a little bit lower and then kind of back to break even. It's been that kind of a day. Good to see these moves down here. Some of the cryptocurrencies, I should say, trying to bounce a little bit off the lows. They were down 6.5% to start the day. Here we go. Look at a board that is even more green than the last time we met. Tech stocks, pretty much the entire thing now back in positive territory. Same story for industrials. It's really only the retail group up here. There's Target 3.6, Etsy under pressure as well, 3.5. Best Buy's here, Amazon's here, TJX, Home Depot as well to the downside. So Mosaic having a bad day there, 5.5%. Material stocks, though, basically break even. There is some positivity coming through. Newmont 2.7 to the upside. Smucker's on a forecast increase. And then we have the energy group all in positive territory along with crude oil back to the upside. So we'll see how things transpire here for the rest of the day. As I said, we are positive right now, but give it a minute, it might change again. Do we actually have some low float stocks back in play here? It would appear so. AERC, I'm just seeing again, taking out day highs here on volume. SOPA just popping up on some volume as well. I mean, there was that AUVI, so finally a little more action when it comes to small cap stocks to talk about this afternoon. Hope your afternoon is going well. As I said, we'll take you right through to the close this afternoon. We'll talk a little bit about some opportunities that were available for you at the open this morning. We were focusing on retail in the pre-market. If you joined us, that doesn't mean that there wasn't a whole bunch of other things moving around and opportunities. We'll talk about Target, obviously what happened after the market gets open. But to lead the way, Neil is here to talk about one of his trades.
Thank you very much, Brendan. We're going to talk about Tesla, and wow, with Twitter making some power moves here, the other side of that coin is Tesla, but that's not why we're looking at it this morning. It's about key price levels. So when we're talking about trades we want to analyze, we want to get something which gives you a little bit of a juice. And that 700 level, wow, we always go to a higher time frame here, and I'm talking about this 700 for the last couple of days. Now, I know we had the long in the afternoon show, some scalp trades a couple of days ago off of this 700. It was fantastic if you look at that on Friday. And then we came in, the top end was 735 on Monday, and we're just looking for shorts off that. Did miss a short at the open while looking at some other names, and it didn't quite get to 700, but you do see strong bounce off this 703 area that did retrace back into 725. So that was that line in the sand. And the strategy that's worked for me at the open has been not to be focused on necessarily having a biased direction on Tesla, but when I've got that line in sand level, allow it to open up, test that level, it picks a direction. I'm going to try and take some tight stop trades into that level in the direction that it picks. So initially, we have this attempt to spike back up above 700. We put in a wick high. The second I see that wick high at the open, I'm thinking reestablish 700 down. I'm looking for the short trade. The mistake that got made here was I did take some out at that pre-market low thinking, hey, it's going to be some whipsaw action. If I like this direction, there should be chances in that melee to get back into it. But I didn't take any more out at that 690 area. Knowing that 680 to 685 was definitely going to be another target zone, I should have been a little quicker to get out. And that's going to be the downside of trading multiple symbols at once. Now, for trends, I do want to be in the entire way. Once it does try to get above 700, puts in a lower high briefly, comes back in, I tight stop, jump back into the short side of the trade. And then the second I was in this second short, the first thing that popped into my head was, there's a wick bottom here. So once I saw that wick bottom through the low of the day, I asked myself, if I'm short something and there's a key price level and it puts a wick top, and then reclaims that key price level, I'm shorting it 10 times out of 10. So on the long side, why am I going to sit in this short when we have a wick bottom through that low and we reclaim 700? that is a get out of your short, start hunting for long positions. As long as we're holding that support area, it's all about that wick bottom from there in on out. Sometimes you've got to be willing to be flexible, especially in that opening rush. You get married to a direction, market doesn't care. You've got to be able to see these liquidity type events for what they are. That is a high volume low, holding the bid now above a key price of support. When that happens, usually you're going to find longs. I got out, immediately reversed into a long. We're scalping it into that 710 range. We're reloading it when we get back into 700. And then the usual thing happens. The last time it was 700 to 710, I did pretty much the same thing, which was get out at 710 once we hit the end of that opening rush. A lot of times this pays off pretty well because you get some pullback and consolidation to start playing dips, and I don't want to take a breakout at that time. Of course, that's exactly when the breakout works, and once it happens and we get to that 720, I am thinking about, okay, get us back to that 710 area. If that can hold, I'll take a long trade in there. I was able to catch a dip into 710. It was incredibly weak in that price range. It bounced off that level after a huge candle and made no recovery and was all kinds of sellers at 712. So I just got out of that trade, noting the weakness, and said either I get a chance to play off of my 700 level, the VWAP didn't really consolidate enough for me, so we did have to walk away from it. But the key thing here is there's two ways this could have played out. Three ways really. I could have simply just lost on the short, been stubborn about it. I could have profited on the short, gotten out for a tight stop, and been flat on Tesla. Or I could acknowledge that we had a second setup show up. That was that wick bottom on Tesla, giving me the reason to reverse off of 700 to the long side of the trade. You've got to be willing to just trade the setups that are there, regardless of what your opening bias might be. Things change. You've got to take advantage of what the market gives you. And today, Tesla gave you that long off 700.
Much opportunity this morning. If you joined us once again, join us every day if you're not already in the pre-market at 8:30. We talked about Tesla and whether or not Elon was a little bit distracted with other things going on. Was on the watch list this morning. Make sure you grab that every single day. Free before we come on at 8:30. All you need is an email address. Just watching Fisker, FSR, popped up on a volume scanner here. It's not doing anything. There was a little bit of volume though. There was a note from Electrek saying Fisker's still on track for 2022 ocean deliveries, saying that Magna is, quote unquote, delivering an out of this world product. So heads up on FSR. Let's go to the other one moving around though to kick things off right now, Twitter. It was about 154, I guess, is when that came out. Reuters reporting that Elon has stopped trying to attract or gain any further financing. This was a note. I can just show you the headline here. Any further financing on hold until he gets more clarification as far as these robots are concerned. So speaking of robots, guys, bit of an algo move there on Twitter because we're right back to where we started.
Yeah, we actually, hey, what's up? We actually shorted it there off that break, but pretty small, and then we averaged in up here. So you can see our average price now, 40.05. We did, so that's that price there. So we did take a 20-cent hit there on part of it. I want to give Twitter to the high of the day. To me, like, no funding is not great. He doesn't necessarily need funding, but for this to be a $54 billion deal, I mean, obviously, he's looking for partners to come in, step in, and do that. I feel like this is a way for him to get out of the deal, obviously. I'm not saying anything that's rocket science right now. Wow. Apple right here to the high of the day right now as we just keep on chugging with this one, man. There it is. Yes, sir. Hit the sirens. You can see the three alarms that we have on right now. Facebook, $1.10 in the money. AMD, 60 cents in the money. Apple, 55 cents in the money. And ripping, man. We took this 148 long in Apple as well. That's starting to go up to the upside. Billy the Great behind me over here mentioned about that at Amazon level. How good was that at 124? We're definitely going to start to respect our sticky note a little bit here. There it goes, man. The NASDAQ is off to the races, and your boy's on one again, man. Here goes Apple, nicely done to the upside. It just touched 80. Let's put another offer up there near 80. And honestly, whatever Twitter wants to do, it's just going to do it without me if it goes back up through the high of the day. So we're going to get out at 40.24. I don't know what that means. I mean, should it be up more than the market today? I don't know. No. It's at $40. I mean, we're still way away from that 54. I feel like he's doing this just to get more pubs. So I think that what he's going to wind up doing is offering 44.20. And honestly, that's going to be the price. He's going to say take it or leave it. They're going to say take it. This is a done deal at 44.20. You heard it here first or second or third or wherever you heard it from.
I've been partial to 42.69 as a possibility in the 40s, but obviously, I mean, we're saying that because, look, if he offered 54.20, let's be honest about why he picked that price. Let's be real. So I think it'll be something along those lines. But the whole thing about blaming the lack of financing, like I can't get financing because of X, that gives him a legal out to then back away from the deal, even with paying that $1 billion breakup fee. That's why it matters so much. And look, I'm a little distracted because I had the top on this stupid AERX at 14, and I got stopped out and then got back in when it just capitulated, but I got 13.30, so it's back down at 12 even. This is like, it's going to halt to the downside. I'm going to try and hold a piece of this, but I should have 14s on this stupid thing, and of course, I obviously don't. I got stopped out. You should always have a stop, but that ran 14. It's about to halt to the downside here. I'll see if I can get.
You could. I should be short.
Did you get any?
No, I don't have any. I didn't pay for this.
I'm too late. I'm too late to be able to get any on the short side, but 14 even.
Get it off the offer.
14 even was a failed breakout. I tried to get it back in. We always talk about these wick tops, right? Something makes a wick top like that through an even level. I'm going to try to jump right back in the tight stop short, and unfortunately, I had to chase it down past 13.50. I do think you'll find a bid at 10. I did have a couple of longs through 8.50. I didn't really hold it more than $1. I didn't hold the $10 past 11, but mostly I've just been sort of shorting and trying to get these pullbacks until right now. So if anything, like the longs just kind of kept my head above water until this move. But ARC's been going absolutely crazy. As far as Twitter goes, like I'm with you, Sean. Like if it breaks the high of the day, then I just don't get it. Because initially, I got the 39.90 short. It looked like it was just going to flush again, and I got 39.60s, and then I reloaded a couple of times, got stopped once, then reloaded again, and it looks like the buyers, for whatever reason, decided to come back into Twitter. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me because I don't understand why you'd say that if you're not trying to get a lower price, and if you're trying to get a lower price, the risk is they reject it, and then he walks away from the deal, and the stock's at $30 or lower.
You'll be happy to know, guys, it's now $1.05 to short AERC per share, at least for us anyway. So it's a little pricey if you want to get some locates on AERC right now. Let's talk retail. Target out in the pre-market this morning, revising its Q2 numbers to the downside in a big way as well, putting pressure on all of the retailers heading into the open this morning. A lot of them, though, kind of grinding their way back to the upside here.
Yeah, we can definitely have a look here. I mean, I'm short Twitter. We're long everything else. Look at Apple, man, up into the 80s right here. As that's starting to go upside, we took the short, got out of the short, then hit the long, and then that's definitely nice. But yeah, off the sticky note today, someone messaged me and said, "Oh, Target went up." Yeah, Target went up for sure. And there's us getting out of it. I mean, we thought that we were going to be short in and around 150. They actually almost. I think it came close to, I don't think, here it is right here. We did get close to going positive before turning around at sort of a random 158 right there. You're now starting to turn back. I think that Target can get hit down through 152, but we've been wrong on this name, so I'm not 100% sure where we actually think Target's even going today. It's been disappointing, needless to say, since their earnings report, 160 down to 145. That was yesterday's move, and if you zoom this back out, I don't know, hopefully this will load, but we saw last week, we had an awful report come from Target as well to the downside. So maybe look, there it is right there. I was going to say, maybe I have to look on a daily chart, but there it is. 215 all the way down to 165. It's been a couple weeks, about 3 weeks. It's their second guide to the lower side here. So yeah, no surprise for me that they did this, but at the same time, I feel like their management is good. They'll be able to figure that out. It's an inventory issue. They have some old inventory there, and they're going to guide a little bit lower. So once that's all figured out, Target down 3.5%, probably deserves to be a little bit lower. I feel like it'll be faded tomorrow again, but a nice rally back today on TGT.
Yeah, I took multiple swings at it, and obviously it's not going to work out when you try the short over and over again. There was one that at the open, it looked pretty solid, but one of the reasons why I think Tesla worked as a trade of the day or something to analyze for the trade, probably was very valid in target because 145.50, and I was saying this myself in the morning show, and I think I might have said it out loud, 145.50 was a previous low after earnings, and it did break that in the pre-market a couple of times with heavy wick bottoms. And we talk about this, like a couple of wick bottoms, not on huge volume, but then at the open, you also had a break of this 147 level. So what was the pivot point, I know because I was short 147 and got stopped out there very briefly at like 8 a.m. Before we even came on. We then had a wick bottom through 147 and then shot to the upside and broke out. I mean, that is the exact same setup that caused the reversal for a long in Tesla. And in this case, it's on a stock that was already beaten up. So, you know, I've sort of seen this maybe too many times not to have at least taken a shot at the long side of it. I did wait till 55, 56 to take another short, and it never got to 160. So if it had gotten there, I think I would have taken a scrap at it. But obviously, there was not much you could do. Like it was a jailbreak to the upside. All you could do was try to get out. Once you did, unless you were really looking long, you know, you just had to walk away. It's starting to pull back now. It's going to end the day probably negative, but the story will be that it recovered $10.
Let's go to Amazon. Amazon to the downside today after day number one yesterday, post 20-for-1 stock split. Not much to do today. I mean, it was kind of back and forth between 121.5 up to 123. It was worth a note, though, most retail or stock-focused social media sites were all over this Amazon split yesterday, all over this Amazon split again today, guys. But as I said, kind of a chop fest here. Back and forth we go for Amazon today.
So just before we go to Amazon, just quickly, ARC opened back up for those watching, and it opened up pretty much at like 11:20, indicated most of the times at 11, and now it's catching a bit of a bounce. The halt up price was $12.70. I think if it fails to get above that, it's likely to retest down close to that $10 area. But that's sort of that. If you're looking for an entry point, it would kind of make sense, like 1250s off of 1270s, not giving it all the way to the high of the day. But I'm just going to hang on now for around that 10 area and then see if we can't get this one all the way to the downside. I mean, I can go break even on this and still be okay. But Amazon, I know we're just going to talk about it, but I want to make sure I covered AERC, which if it breaks 1250 here, it actually has a chance to halt upside again.
Look, Amazon, we traded it really well today, but the problem is, and I was talking with Billy here before, and it's just like, I nailed that top on the sticky note, and I don't even have it because I wasn't paying attention. Amazon 124, short off 124, is right here on the sticky note today, so we can sort of review that right here with Amazon. Look at the high of the day. I mean, this is 124, literally the high of the day. It goes 10 cents against you, 124 into yesterday. So the problem is, I mean, we had this short again, but we didn't have it till 123.30, and our best out there was we didn't even hold it for this very bottom. So we only held it there for about $1, about 50 cents, and then again about another 75 cents. It went about $1 in the money on that one. But we just started the short way too early. I believe Amazon's a forever short here until this market really gets going. I don't like the name. I just feel like the competition is huge for them. If they weren't able to really take out, I mean, we can go through a daily chart. We can't do it on our system now because of the split, but they've been doing a lot of nothing for a bit. They got a nice little 4 or 5 days up, and here I can show you on eSignal here. They got 4 or 5 days bounced up here due to the split, I believe, and that was way too far. Like 120, it was at $100 on the 25th or 24th of May. So you're June 7th today. Is it deserving to be up 25% in a week and a half? Amazon, I'm going to say no to that. It might be wrong, who knows? But for me, Amazon's going to be a short. We dead nailed that top of the day there today. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad we got back in once it broke back down. We made some money again on the short. But again, to get out there was a little silly. So I don't really know what we were thinking. We got to just relook and make sure that we focus. Trust what we have written down and just go with it. So Amazon today, yeah, a little disappointing because we dead nailed that 124. And I hope you guys did as well because, whoops, that's what I mean. There it is right there, 124, 124. It actually came into play earlier on the day as well. So yesterday, that was the bottom. Today, it was the top. Honestly, it doesn't get easier than that. And we missed it. So yeah, I'm not super happy with missing that trade.
Nope. To be honest, like I had orders in. I'm pretty sure we both had orders in. And then at some point you do cancel orders because it gets far enough away. If they don't hit at the open, you throw them out. The only thing left to look at, in terms of maybe bottoms, is it did have a wick off bottom as well. So we've seen that pattern a lot the last little bit. But the bulk of the volume held 121. That was the bottom when it broke the channel 121.50 and then held 121. So if we get a flush in the market this afternoon, which, it doesn't really feel like that's the case, but we've seen this before. 121 can be support there on Amazon, at least temporarily. 120 never came into play. That's where I was looking to bid early in the morning, and it got down, missed me by about 20 cents or so. But I think 21 is that level now on Amazon.
Hey, Lucas is hot, just FYI. Tesla, guys, back to the upside as well. We were talking about whether or not Elon being distracted with things, which apparently he is, was going to be an issue this morning. 700, though, was a key resistance point in the pre-market. It ends up giving you a nice hold here of Tesla on the way back in after the initial move higher. And here we are now, $20 higher for Tesla.
Yeah, the thing about it is, you'd expect that even with this news, I know Twitter actually has recovered here, but if he pulls out of the deal, if he reduces the price of the deal, if he gets less distracted by it, all of those things you would think would be bullish for Tesla. Now, this hasn't really done anything on that news. I guess it was already strong and near the highs, and we sort of went over that 700 pivot level, and maybe I should have got back in at VWAP. And I think when you have a trend like that, bouncing off VWAP and then consolidating, reclaiming that 710 should have been something that I got back into to scalp it for another $10 trade. But the reality is I'm not sure that correlation is going to be at what everyone expects it to be. And I've given up on thinking that every single time Twitter has bad news, the deal has bad news, just automatically go long Tesla and vice versa, because that just hasn't necessarily been true. I'm just going to trade it on its own merits. 720 is a big level right now on Tesla. It's held it a couple of times today. You've seen it kind of rub the top as the NASDAQ makes a double top at 12.7. As the ES gets right to that 41.4, actually breaks out at 41.4 and is trying to go on the S&P 500. That 720 is your equivalent level on Tesla. At this point, I just want to go long on dips if I can off of VWAP. I don't know if we'll get it, but that 710 area is going to come back into play for me.
Yeah, I didn't look at Tesla today, so I just feel like I need to sell it anytime it gets near 800. I'm selling that stock, so I'm just working with a few different names. What's next? Twitter. Okay, we can go to Twitter, Brendo. Why don't you give that update? I still am short on Twitter.
Yeah, just a heads up, guys. That Jan 1 little tiny stock from this morning just halted after this happened. Went to 440 there on huge volume spike. So another one starting to go on the small tiny float. This was up this morning on a potential treatment for an artery disease, for heart disease. So heads up on Jan 1 trying to go. Yeah, let's go to Twitter. There's a whole bunch of stuff that came out of a meeting before this Elon stuff happened this afternoon. They're talking about monthly active users, some goals that they were trying to reach going forward. They were even talking about daily active users and some goals on that they were trying to reach going forward. Again, this was an internal meeting that was leaked, I guess. That was all right before this comment from Elon on the financing side of things. So it wasn't really affecting the stock, but it was interesting in itself, as this was kind of, what Elon is talking about anyways.
100%. The one thing that I probably should mention, two things we should probably mention about it, is yesterday when it had that flush, I sort of said 40 should be resistance. I know a couple of traders had that. When you're trading a buyout or a deal like that, you're probably going to be focused on it a little bit more. But I didn't take the trade off of 40, but I know a couple of people did. But if you see the wipeout that it had, there were probably a lot of ARB trades that got blown out yesterday, which might be the reason why. It just kind of feels like there was a big enough capitulation in yesterday's Twitter trade that maybe that's why it's not dumping as much today. Just throwing that one out there, because everything about what just got said and all the negative news sort of coming before that announcement about the funding, that would lead to more leverage for a lower price. And if it's going to be in the mid-40s or low to mid-40s, where everyone seems to be speculating, then I just can't see why it would be breaking the highs today. There's a lot of people that I think would give it up at that point. Although, if it is 44, I understand you'd still make money, 40 long into 44 if that's what it was, or 42 or whatever it might be. But the time value of money is still a thing. you know, the market apparently is giving a little bit of a bounce, and people want to put some money to work there. And there's always the chance that the deal does fall apart altogether, which I don't think is necessarily reflected in this being at $40, given the news that we just saw. But until it breaks the high, I'll just keep playing the short. It wasn't really fast enough, I suppose, to catch that initial trade, and the secondary spike held 39.5. So if this is a 3-minute chart, the first spike down that got to 39, when I get short here at 39.85, that's on the way back up. And then it gets back to about 39.5. Like if I put this, I'm assuming if I put this on a minute chart for you guys, you'll be able to sort of see it if I can actually do that in real time, if it wants to give it to me here. And then you'd be able to see what it did, which is come right back up and then hold the bid at 39.50. So even if this pulls back again, I'd be looking to cover this in front of 39.50 because there were buyers en masse at that price. So, you know, this short here off the high of the day, it has an end game, of course, the end of the day because we're day trading, but 39.50 as well.
All right. Yeah, we have an end game right now. It's going to be with Facebook. We just got into a new position, and I was going to talk about this before, but right now we're into Facebook at 48 right there. So average price of 53 there, but we just took it off that 50 period. Right now it came back in, filled us at 50. Sorry, I know. I thought I was bidding I don't know why I said 48 is where that is. Where did I actually get hit long? I actually got hit long 51. So okay. So long 51 right now on Facebook. Shows an average price of 53. Let's see if we can't get this name back into the 70s, which would be nice for us. The high there, 80, would be pretty good. Here it is. We're just trying to scalp along here with this name. So a nice little move upside for Facebook. We'll see if it can get back to 195. Let's just try to dance with these futures a bit. 194.20 is where VWAP is. We'll get out if it breaks back down below that. So that's about 30 cents worth of risk to the upside right now for Facebook. So let's hold on to that. Our out, as long as it's there, is there on that name. And yes, Facebook sell breaking through 20. Okay, good. And then I just want to talk about that Jan 1 again quickly. It's tapping right now 450. So you're going to get at least now it's come back down, 452 print coming on JAN 1. And then you do have a daily chart here. It's up to the 200 period. So you can, I mean, that could be something there. Some of these other wicks that we've just made, even just a couple days ago, was 510 there, 510 there again. So there it is. Now it's open 440. We can watch this together. 450, 460, 470, 480 almost. There it is, 480 now again, and sold as it keeps on going to the upside right now, up through $5. There goes Jan 1. Congratulations to everybody trading this one. If you were long today, then you know what's good, man. It just touched 5. And remember, we just did that work. There's that 5 top, right? So watch out there. If you want to take it, you can take it, but it is starting to go right now. Jan 1, a nice little move to the upside here. So congratulations to all, and I hope it keeps on running for you, but there's a stop. That's why we talked about it right there at 5. So watch out. A break of 510. The high of the day is exactly $5. You can watch out for that one.
Yeah, ending on the 1. I don't know. That's like a Cosby Show one, so probably shouldn't say it. But I actually didn't take the $5 level, and my excuse is pretty bad. Actually, I didn't think I had locates on the stock. And I went to go pay for it and realized either they're free or I did it in the morning. So I might have missed $5. But if it gives 90s, it's worth the risk to reward. But remember, like on AERC, like it took multiple times before this thing finally really pulled back. And even then, you had to make sure that you're not getting destroyed so that you have a chance to get back in. But I'll take a shot at this probably in that like close to $5 range, in front of $5 range here. It's an even round number, but that's a hard stop at 5. None of the, you know, not giving it past or anything like that. If it breaks 5 even, I'd just be out of the trade altogether. And sort of speaking about AERC, that's now halted again to the downside. I guess we're going to talk about these next. The low floaters. AERC's halted to the downside, 1063. I do look for below 10 or this last breakout price. It had a halt at 850 and then you had 10, which was the last breakout. So somewhere in that range, I'd like to get out of this trade, thinking maybe it can't go all the way back into VWAP, but willing to get it out when it broke the high of the day at 14. Just had to be able to get back into it. That's gotten really expensive for locates, by the way, but it was cheaper if you bought it early.
And there it is, guys. Facebook, we just put that trade on literally 2 minutes ago at 50. It just ripped up to 90s there. So our best out is 86, 87. Let's see if it can continue to go. But again, with this market sort of dancing here at these highs, you know, definitely a good move, I think, anyways, for my account, is to scalp in and out of these plays. So we'll wait. Hopefully we can get a 195 print here on Facebook. But look what we've been doing all day today. Remember I said pick which direction you like? And there it is, man. Facebook again, man, as it's still trying to go up to the upside. 195 possible breaking spot there. So we'll wait to see if that comes through. We are going to get out, like I said, 193.20. So we've already made sort of, that was 50 cents. So, you know, our risk was going to be 30 cents. We just took out some fills there for 40. So let's see if we can get to 195 and make it a clean 50 cents. But here comes right back in one more time. So like I said, this market is up and down and around right now. And then that Jan 1 is down to 450 off that $5. I'm glad that we talked a little bit about that $5 level.
Yeah, 2 million float, 2.3 million share float on JAN. Really all you need to know. There's nothing new outside of that heart disease headline from this morning. It's worth, yeah, it is 230. I'm just going to update crude oil here just quickly because the pit session just ended here. So there was a huge volume spike. Here we go, right back to 119.70. Bit of a magnet over the past couple of days, up 1%. We had the spike down to 117, but doesn't seem to want to get away from this 120, guys, for crude oil ending the day there. But yeah, low float stocks were bottom end of the list there. It's been a long time since we've had not one, not two, but 3 or 4 different runners on the day doing heavy volume.
Yeah, and not to be lost in that, when that does happen, there are some other moves. And look, we've already talked about Jan, and we've already talked about ERC, so there's probably no point going over it again. ERC just opened back up. I sort of gave some levels there. But remember, sometimes you also have the squeeze stocks go on a day like today. So I haven't checked back on AMC, but GameStop is at 138 right now on a double top. And that is up 7.5%, super strong. But it's just, I mean, it's squeezing, right? Like that's, I mean, we understand that. But if you look at this 138 level, this has been pretty big for the last week and a half. This can get through 138. There's 140 is a round number, but the last couple of times it gave you some juice, 144, 148. It didn't quite get to 150. I know Luca will be watching that level because I know that's a level we were both looking at that day. As a matter of fact, I think we're all along the 130 break the day that it got to 150, but a strong move in GameStop. It just feels like, you know, the low floaters run. Make sure you watch out for those meme names, but 138 is a bit of a line in the sand for GameStop. And I haven't been watching AMC, but it is at maybe not as significant of a high at about 1275, but it is a double top. It is yesterday's high. I don't think it is as significant as the 138 level on GameStop, but you can't sleep on these either. When they're doing volume, they are worth it. When they're making moves and they get to key levels, they should be stocks that we're watching.
Okay, I'm just getting set up here because I'm doing a new trade alert again here. We just had AMD. We had a nice little runner from down here, but we're going to add to that position right now and give us a new price right here at 15. So let's just wait to see. The market is now up, obviously, on the day, looking to take out the day's high. If this runs through the day's high, we have Apple already 70 cents in the money. AMD was just $1, but we'll take a new position now on that one as that's 5 cents in the money from where we took it, but who cares? We'll wait to see if that goes upside. And then Facebook right now is just turning around on itself. Like it's going to have to dance a bit. Hopefully it can get back up to that 195. But again, we have a 194 area set up for Facebook. And then AMD, I have a break back down below 105 as well, right where this VWAP is. So there is some dancing here on these names. And for math, what's up, math? I like math. You like math. We all like math. And yes, we are manually trading. I mean, I put in stop orders so I don't have to, like, for example, if AMD breaks lower, if thens, right? So those are the kind of orders that I'm putting in. If it ticks down to like 104.50, then market me out, stuff like that. So those are the sort of, that's to the extent that I have it automated there. But yeah, I wish we did have a little more automation, but there it goes right now. I mean, this is what I'm doing, man. There goes AMD right now, up to 30. So we'll take a quick spot out right here if we can get it. And remember, we are trading here with Daytrade the World, and I have already today more than 200 fills, and my fees are $14. So you have to be able to scalp, and you have to be able to do this on a reasonable amount of shares and a reasonable amount. There it is. Where did Facebook? Oh my God, I'm waiting at 96 for Facebook. Let's go. Again, just shy of 95 there, but we're going to put an order out right now just to take this. I don't really care. It's good enough, man. We'll get an 88. There it is. Yes, sir. Grab that, Phil. Mamma mia. There goes Facebook working nicely. There's another 50 cents. Like we just put this trade on, right? So that's what we're trying to do, trying to show you guys that there's opportunity to trade here manually with your hands, although it seems like the algos and the HFTs are eating our lunch, but not this, guys, as it's still going here for us. Let's see where we can go. The only position that we're worried about right now is Twitter on the short side, but we've got Facebook, AMD, and Apple. I guess AMD hasn't really worked. This is a little nervous for me because it's still negative, so I am aware that this can easily drop through. I was just wondering if some speed came to AMD now to try to get this back to positive, that I definitely want to be long this name. So it's been a battle for me all day today, but we're back, and it's good, man. 75 cents here with Apple. Let's see if Facebook wants to take out 195.
So we got to shoot super chat here, but thank you very much, obviously, for the super chat CDM here. They're asking you to talk about delayed data and why TD Ameritrade shows a level 2 10 less than the current price we're seeing. I'm assuming it's Microsoft. You're saying 271 because that's the only stock I know that's at 271 that we'd look at. I don't think Sean showed a level 2 price of 281. It's at 271. That's what I see on my level 2. So I don't think there's anything wrong with your data if you see 271 on Microsoft. But yeah, if there was a 281, maybe there was a dark pool print. I'm not even seeing anything like that. So it could have been a different stock. I know we flip pretty quickly from symbol to symbol. So maybe you saw something else at 81. But yeah, you're good. 271's fine. Your data seems like it's going to be just okay. This Jan stock, by the way, the rug pull on these, and this we should always open by saying this. I know the $5 level was right there, so I had to get mentioned the second Sean brought it up, and it's the same thing with an AERC. But when these go, everyone broke taking profit. If you're long and you've got one of these bad boys, it was a $2.50 stock at the close yesterday. Like $5 is exactly a double up. If you don't think people are running to the hills to go grab profit on a stock like that when the daily chart looks like this, there's going to be sellers there. So you take your profit as well when you get one of these long, because when it starts to come down, it can just happen so fast that you can be throwing away 30, 40, 50% of a move entirely too quickly. And nobody wants to do that. So we always say take your profit and run when you get that opportunity. But thank you guys for the super chat. If you're interested, what stock is, what price is the stock trading, or why do you see this on the chart, or what is that wick, or what is that line on your chart? Just ask us, man. There's no bad questions out there. We're just sort of here for you guys to be able to tell you what we're seeing. What I'm seeing is the market breaking out on the ES, the NASDAQ right at the high of the day, Tesla off a little. You see my chart just crashed. Tesla off a little bit there. There's my Tesla chart. Tesla off the highs a little bit, but not really getting in to give me the dip either at the 50 or maybe at that 710 level, but not breaking out or not threatening breaking out when I see the market doing that. So a little bit of relative weakness here in Tesla. I still do favor the longs, but I can't ignore the fact that the market wants to take these highs, and Tesla isn't one of those names.
Yeah, and so we are now in 2 AMD here, but it's weak, man. Like the futures there barely. Like I'm watching here Facebook, right? And Facebook has no problems going up when the market goes up, but AMD has a lot of problems going up when the market goes up, and not too many issues when it goes down. So we're going to be out of this one very, very soon on a break of 104.89 or so. But here's our last. You know what? We could get out of this one a little bit if we wanted to. Let's just take a little bit out. We didn't even get filled there at 04. There it is. We took a little bit out at 04 here. This is just because this future seems to be heading to the downside. So we will take off 20% there. Very, very small. We're only 15 cents away from getting stopped out on this play, right? So I'm not really super worried about it. Again, when you're trading a little bit more shares, this is what I do. And when it works out, I get pissed off because I don't have enough shares on board. And this is why. It's because I get out when I get nervous. But that has saved me a lot of money as well. So it does go on both sides. Let's just wait now to see. You guys know where my out is, a break of 105, a little lower than that. So if these futures want to take it down to the 50 period, AMD definitely will falter of that. And I'm just learning right now that I don't need to be in this. Remember why I was in? I thought there was a chance that AMD could try to get to green, especially if this market takes out day's high. But the market is not taking out day high, and actually it just tried to go back to the 50 period there and stopped. And it's crazy that I'm looking at this, like we're talking literally 15 points before it gets back down here. So the NASDAQ could easily drop down here. So, and AMD doesn't want to go back up. I mean, look how easy, I mean, I just want to say look how easy, but I mean, look at Facebook here. It's starting just to tick up, no problem. Look at these reloads on the long, right? That's a 50 right there. I've gotten, since getting the 50s, we've gotten 80s, we've got 90s, we've got 85 again. So it's no problem to give us that 30 cents. On AMD on the flip side, like here, what? It's not even like, this should be good here, but it's not. So it's coming back down. So we're gonna watch out. There's view up there at 90, so you can take a wild guess where we will be getting out of this AMD trade, and it'll be very, very soon. So watch out for that. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. That is AMD, and then I don't know, Twitter is what it is right now.
Yeah, it's actually the weird thing about Twitter is the fact that it's sort of holding this level. I mean, it kind of, you know where the stop is going to be at that high of the day. And I kind of feel like maybe it even sells off. And if it sells off at 350 or something like that at the end of the day, I'll just hold it as long as it hasn't broken the high. But a couple of things making some moves. ARC just made another power move to the upside. I was going to talk about GitLab. It's failed the 50 break several times. I am in this one and have been several times. I did lose initially, but it's now gotten back to 49 a couple of times. But AERC, these charts, man. AERC just tried to pop back through 12 and then started reversing pretty hard. So this looks like it is going to flush back down into 9. My target is in front of VWAP. That's where I want to get it. There's also only 4 minutes to go. It's Tuesday. You guys know what's up. In 4 minutes, you get the man, the myth, the legend himself going to be on the ones and twos with Sean and I. And people ask us if we use margin. We're in a prop trading floor. So we're not trading retail accounts. When you're a prop trader, you trade firms' capital. You get set buying power that you can deploy that day as a day trader, and that's based on your performance level. So, yes, we do have a lot of capital to be able to make these trades with, but that's partly because it's a prop floor and because we have to be flat at the end of each day, and every trader has its own risk parameters. Brendan has a name for us.
Shopify, guys, just popping back up on some volume here at day highs. So up 5% so far for Shop. If you missed it earlier, the board and shareholders approved a 40% ownership for the CEO and also that 10-for-1 stock split for Shop.
Yeah, I didn't think they were. That was advised against that for, I forget his name. What is it, Ted? No, it's not Ted. What's his name again? The Shopify CEO? It's a funny one. But
so I'm just
anyways, yeah, you don't know anyways, I don't think. Shoot, I forget his name. I was just reading about it today, that they weren't going to give him and his family that 40% because that way they can't get taken out or anything like that. But okay, anyways, there goes AMD. So AMD did fall back down. We got out there, kind of sensed that might have been a problem. I don't really care. This is not one where I'm going to get back into, even though I feel like we might have got wicked out there. There's so many bigger names, fish to fry here. Tobias, that's what it is, Tobias. I said Teddy there. So Tobias, that might be a nickname. But Tobias, yeah, so that's surprised there for Shopify. I'm not surprised. I was just am a little bit that they approve that. It's kind of like a reverse poison pill there, giving him voting rights on all that. Considering that Shopify's down 75% this year, I would have thought that wouldn't have been possible. But $1,800 down to $300 right now. Shopify, I mean, it's down to $377, but that very bottom was $308. So definitely getting ready to break out here through 420, but that still needs to come through. So we'll watch out to see if that's going to happen. Couple good outs on Facebook. I don't know about a reload here as the futures just broke back down below. So I feel like we did good on Facebook right now. Made decent money there as Facebook's going to be the #1 traded stock on the show today. But wow, it's looked like he wants to break lower here. There's my couple outs on Facebook. We have 10% left of what we had initially. So here it comes back in. Our outs are still down here at 194.20 on Facebook, which is VWAP. I don't know, though, man. This market is really testing these levels. If we take it another long, it'll be like right now, but the same outs, guys, 194.20. Let's see where we go. Wow, Facebook definitely pushing lower.
Yeah, if we're in front of resistance, and for me, yeah, I'm going to ring registers on short trades in front of that resistance and make sure you get along at a good price, right? Twitter actually started rolling over there, I think, with the market, but it also reclaimed southbound to 40 even. So it's a scalp down into 39.50 is going to be on. Going to make sure we take some out there. I am also sitting, and I always talk about this dollar level over and over again. And if you remember this morning, it was long HLBZ off of that $1 level. That got you all the way up to about 120. There was one other trade off a buck that only got to 107. Once it broke, it's been only short off the $1 level, and have had like 99 several times. It's now back at 95. I'd like to see it closed at 92 yesterday, so that's kind of where I'd like to see it go to. I think it's definitely going to get down there. It feels like it's about to capitulate. With the market coming down helps as well. Tesla is obviously falling. You just saw the market coming back in. So we get back down into VWAP. That's where I'm looking for this to maybe catch a bit of a bounce. Remember, it was relatively weak. And then Amazon, we talked about 121. It's just rolling through VWAP at 122. So at this point, managing the shorts that are pulling back, being patient with the longs. I'd like Tesla because that strength maybe off of VWAP, but Amazon, I'd be looking at that 121 where it made that bottom a little bit earlier today. As far as the small caps go, Jan feels like it's done. I mean, it's at $4 now, so I feel like that's dead. ARC has some room that it can go, and I probably shouldn't have waited around for GameStop. I mean, the market pulling back, I probably could have had this at 138 or close to 138. I was kind of thinking it was going to take out that high and then push to one of the levels higher. But GameStop's still close enough that it could make one last little push close to that 138 if the market wants to keep giving it up. It'd be a relatively tight stop. I don't think I'd give it past 138 on any short of GameStop.
Yeah, we're just going to make sure that we have another bid out here on Twitter as that came back in for us. So like Neil mentioned, that was a good trade, and we went into, so we got stopped on that 20 break, and then we just bought it right back. So it's going to be the same story here for me. We're actually able to get back basically at the exact same price. We got 17s or 18s out, and we bought back 15s. So still sucks because we take the hit as it goes to the downside there, but we're able to buy it back, and now we have the same shares on again, and I want to try to give this one down to like 193.80, something like that. I mean, I just feel like the futures flushed a little bit there. It doesn't necessarily mean that we've broke trend. I mean, that 50 period means that we did, but right back into here, we do have some levels of 12,630. It's 12,630, I guess. We're not going all the way down to 300. But if we break back down below here, then that's going to be a trouble spot. We do know that we want Facebook long, so I still don't have any issues with this going back to 195. It definitely has that possibility, especially if the futures start to run there. So let's wait out for that to happen right now. But yeah, so without too much further ado here, yesterday in our meeting, I was like, yo, I have an idea, and this time is a good one. And it was, let's bring Tony on more often. So you're going to get him Friday, and as I'm not going to be here for the afternoon, so I'll rejoice for that. But I've also made the move to have a weekly segment with Tony. And it's called, let's throw to it when you guys are ready. Let's go. There it is. Tony Tuesday. No, that is wrong. It's supposed to be Tuesdays with Tony, but there we go. We will get that fixed. And there he is right now. Tony, how goes your Tuesday, my friend?
Oh, my Tuesday goes well. Thank you so much for having me on the show again. Always a pleasure to be here and to talk about trading. I know you guys have here a very fantastic day for the markets. I think we reversed just like the weather. It was raining really hard this morning, and the markets are down 1.5%. And just like that, we came all the way back. It's sunny now, and the markets are green. It's a fantastic day. Thanks again, though, for having me on. Always a pleasure.
Righty, hey,
the pleasure is all ours, my friend.
Yeah, never a problem, man. That's why I go to bat for you, Tony. So I'm here, and we're glad to have you, and I think all of our people are as well. So just quickly here before, Tony will be there. I mean, he'll just be sitting there beside us. We'll throw to him for some comments soon. But right now, Facebook. So Facebook down to 194.18. Let's see if it wants to hold. This market, I don't know, man. We're into our largest position of the day now against this 193.80. So let's see, does this exactly want to go upside? I'm not too sure. Tony, did you have any chance to look at Facebook today or anything like that? What's your opinion here? And please tell me it's only long.
Facebook, that's a stock I've haven't quite looked at in a while. Seems like it's consolidating at this range for the past, I guess range, I mean in the 170s to 190s. But as for today, looks like we're pretty much just sitting here, stalemate, not really moving one direction or the other. I think on a 15-minute charts, I think I somewhat favor the upside, although it's hard to quite say just because of how flat the market is, at least for today on the 5 minutes. I can see that not an awful lot's happening. I'm not sure what sizes you're using, but you got to be trading in the hundreds at least, I'm guessing, in order to make anything out of this move. But yeah, no strong opinion on this. But as for what I do have an opinion on, I saw Target this morning. It was 8% down, I believe, at one point in the pre-market, rallied all the way back up here. Now we're fading just a little bit back at 153. I remember somebody a while back asked me what my favorite part about the financial markets was, and I don't think my answer will ever change, and that is you wake up to a new day and something new is always happening, and it's always exciting to be a part of that. Woke up this morning, I saw Target, I think, adjusted its guidance, lower margins on too much inventory. And so this stock was down quite a bit today. Nice rally right from the open. I think somebody might have made a great play on that this morning. A $10 rally, pretty much 147 all the way to 157. Now we're consolidating back at 153.5. But, it's kind of fascinating looking back at this stock and just seeing how much it's fallen from grace. Not that long ago, it was back at the 268, I believe, or 269. That was pretty much a 52-week high. And now we're pretty much down to almost 45% from those levels. It's kind of fascinating to see, this really, because pretty much today, I believe what Target said was, I think, one of two things, and that is, one, we have way too much inventory because we thought there was a supply chain crisis, so we ordered way too much. And we're also having some trouble selling consumer discretionary goods. And, the issue I always had with retail when it comes to trading is that everybody sort of like lumps them in together as, one big like conglomerate when really there's so many different things involved. One other stock I think received a lot of love recently was Dollar Tree and Dollar General, another retail stock. But again, I think retail can be pretty much divided into the discretionary sector and the staples sector. I know a lot of people that don't really shop at Dollar Tree think that Dollar Tree is some sort of a gimmick company that sells balloons for kids, but you see a lot of consumer staples being sold there, a lot of groceries, a lot of basic necessities such as soap, shampoo, and those type of things. So companies like Dollar Tree, Dollar General end up holding so much better than a Target, which has pretty much been selling, they sell groceries as well. They got some cheap wine there, very nice. Over in the States, they sell alcohol. But over here, I mean, from what I've been hearing, they've been selling a lot of home goods, and they've been having issues pushing out that product, offering some discounts, lowering their margins for Q2. And so this stock has been taking quite a beating. But, perhaps in the long term, if you want to bet in favor of the economy, I'd say Target's a great stock that I've been looking at.
I love just knowledge dropping like an absolute beast there. One thing to talk about the futures, because I know we're looking at some of the big cap names, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a room, but he gave a level of this 4140. And I only know because when I filled in for him, I drew it on my chart, and it's been there since. There's actually a wick top on the ES on a 60-minute here, and it's this battle that we're getting on the S&P 500 above and below this level. We're kind of going back and forth, but we put the wick top in. If we don't reclaim above this price, and the NASDAQ already rejected 1270, 1270 and a double top, we can't get above that again. I feel like we could have a pullback in on this market, but the converse is true. If we hold above that, then you have a chance to still run to the next resistance point, which is like 40 points higher. So there are some reasons the stock can move up. I think it was Crush. I'll talk about Jan. I have no trouble doing it. I didn't make the trade on this. Sort of what I was getting at when I replied to you in the chat there, and I understand your situation. That sucks, man. And there's nothing good about it, but essentially this had a lot of volume at $4, and that's where when the vacuum pulled back in, some bids did step into the stock. But below that price, I don't know if there's any acceptance down until like 330 to 350. So all you're considering is stop placement at that point. Like, where am I getting out? What's your pain pressure point? And everyone's is different. I can't speak to anyone else's stop, but below that price, you are looking at another 15 to 20% worth of downside potential risk there before you're looking at some places you could actually hold on to this thing for more than just a day trade. It has to get back above this halt price, and even then, it's going to run into some chop. Like, it moved up because it's a low float making a secondary push when a lot of others went. That's not the best catalyst in the world for the late day push, and oftentimes these can have trouble making a secondary run after that. I will give you that it's not the worst chart in the world. I've seen worse than this, but there are a lot of bag holders in this 440 range. That's why I say it's going to have some trouble getting past that price. You have to ask yourself how much you're willing to hold it against you on the off chance that it can break back out, because $5 is asking a lot on this stock. The market is trying to make that bounce. We're back above the 4140 level on the NASDAQ. Obviously ARC broke. I was so close to getting Tesla. I wanted VWAP. I should have just stuck to 710 and just bounced off of 710. But this AERC looks like it's going to be coming to a conclusion here. It just broke 10 even. Now it's screaming down into VWAP down here at about 9. So if you're still short around that $14 level, this is where I feel like it should catch a bit of a bid, somewhere between $10 and this 850. It's now in that channel, so it's in that zone where I want to get out of this trade.
Okay, so I know you talked about it already. First of all, we are getting out. We only have half now of our Facebook, man. Like I told you, it was the largest position all day here. And so we took that most of it out in like 24, 25 here. We're long at 06, 07. So that's that fill. Well, we actually got one there and then another one down here. So this is where we're long right now. And like I said, it was the biggest position nominally here on the show, period, today. So yeah, we're going to hopefully get an upside move in the futures. And again, I just want to make sure that Neil covered this good enough, CDM, because that's a great super chat there. You let me know what you're talking about, but sometimes you do get delayed data, right? So you have to phone TD and figure out, why are you seeing delayed data? Maybe you're talking about the level 2 versus some of these book feeds and things like that. But if there is a stock CDM that you want me to call up, just put it in the chat, get my attention, and/or Bears versus Bulls, and I'll do that for you. And we can compare live market data with what you're seeing. But I know I know a lot of traders that use TD Ameritrade, and I never really heard of any problems. So CDM, let me know, and we will go over that. Here comes, we just missed that. So we were trying to get some 85s there on Twitter, but it doesn't look like that. Well, hopefully it'll come through. That bid is actually my bid's at 82, right where VWAP is. So we were trying to get that to go as well. And then my out, we are going to take some more shares here on Facebook if we are able to get some at 194, and then we're going to use it against this 193.80, and we'll see if that drops down a little bit before we are able to get out of this Facebook trade. But right now it's Brendan, and what's up?
Just quickly, guys, space, big tank here, just going to double check, but huge volume, heavy selling on space right now.
Space.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a quick second.
Can that go below zero? What is it at right now, Space?
It was at $6 before, so I'm assuming $5 might come into play. I just got out of AERC, so the timing is good because Virgin Galactic is always going to be on the radar. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. I was wrong. I actually thought it was at $6 already. I was about to say like $6.60. Isn't that where it was before? No, it was at $7.
That's where it is now.
Yeah, I thought it was at $6.60. Maybe it was yesterday. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But it was at $7. Did just push to the downside. I don't know what the news is, but suffice to say, if it pops back up, I'll short it to $7, I guess. I mean, without even knowing what it is, that seems like a relatively safe play. But talk about a name that's going to be under pressure. I can tell you, it's still got some room. The reason I said $5 and threw it out there wasn't because it's a round number. That's because it's the actual low on the daily chart. So any move, I think it probably finds a bid at $5. I think it's just the symmetry of that makes some sense. It can get through the week's low still. If you look at this, it just bounced off of what was 650, last week's low, get a bit of a double bottom. So there's still some support, I suppose, at $6.50. That's why I'd anticipated shot at a bounce to be able to short this at 675 into 7 even. But we should find out the news first. Obviously, something happened, right? It wasn't doing any volume before this.
It's Ape Nation time on GME right now. Is GME up to 142 and still going? 142, 142.50. GME right now up a smooth $5 in a straight line here, Tony. So if you wanted to quickly look at GME, I don't know if you've ever traded GME, my main man over there, but right now there it is, 142, 144 coming through, maybe 150 were the recent tops here. But here it goes, starting to go to the upside. Tony, you have any opinion on GME or AMC or anything like that? Is this worth taking down some more high interest loans for here?
Maybe so. Wow, with the way this thing is moving right here, if we start breaking 147, 148, we're off to pretty much new, not all-time highs, obviously, but relative highs since, I guess, from a few weeks ago. Interesting stock. I'm surprised GME actually held up so well in these trying times where there's rumors of a recession, but it looks like we are taking off for the time being. I would have thought it would be more appropriate for space to be the one taking off at the moment, but I guess space is tanking, and GME, AMC, I'm guessing, is following in hot pursuit, doing quite well over here, 1283. I think we faded quite a bit since the Top Gun release back, I believe that was a week ago. But let's see if we can sort of pump, or not pump, but push around 2 on these stocks over here. 7% on AMC. Sorry, I'm not signed in. You'll see my screen asking me to refresh over here. But yeah, wow, fantastic. It's always fascinating to see some of these stocks start moving. You know, I remember GameStop and Bitcoin were quite correlated about a year ago. I think Bitcoin at the moment, I know it's not something we quite trade on the show, but it's actually kind of fascinating to see, you know, cryptocurrencies these days. I think Bitcoin mostly stabilized, so have a lot of the altcoins, but you know, 2021 was such a fascinating year in terms of everything that happened. Even I think Robinhood was one of the, I don't know if I'd call it a meme stock, but it was certainly pumped at some point. I know Robinhood today, you know, back down 5% on some SEC news about regulating payment for order flow. I think a lot of the Wall Street Bets members might be happy about that news. A lot of new competition, I believe, coming in for how they route their orders. So Robinhood now down 5%, not quite taking off along with GME or AMC. But yeah, I guess if you are a holder, this looks to be intraday highs, and looks like we're blasting off from here. So very, very fascinating to look at. It's actually really fascinating how a lot of these stocks fell from grace. I wouldn't say GME being one of these, since they're still doing quite well. But you know, I think Twitter was another name we were looking at earlier today. Was that right? I think people were suspecting that Elon Musk wants to sort of terminate the deal a little. You know, I've been reading a lot about this, actually. A lot of shareholders are sort of upset at him for, I guess, destroying shareholder value. I guess those shareholders must have been the ones to buy in after he announced the deal, because I think we're pretty much around the same price, actually, where you know, Twitter was before Elon Musk announced his ownership of the company. But that being said, I don't really blame Elon Musk for trying to get out of this deal, because I think he wanted to buy in at $54.20, and that's pretty much the same price that where Twitter was back in, I think, close to November of last year, which is when the NASDAQ was near more or less at its all-time highs. So, you know, it would have been a ripoff for him to buy it at that price. So, you know, as to whether or not he should or could get out of the deal, I'm not a legal expert. But as for whether or not he wants to get out of the deal, I think he has some serious buyer's remorse, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's a tough situation. There is a lawsuit. I don't know how big the lawsuit is, but there is a lawsuit for some shareholders, and part of it did have to do with like when he disclosed that he had a position in it, and obviously, you know, we'll see what happens. I don't see how he doesn't get a better price if he does go through with it at all. He's too smart a guy not to, right? Like, come on. You think Elon's the kind of guy that pays more than he needs to for stuff? I don't know. Maybe he is. I have no clue. But you mentioned GameStop, and
here we go.
Look, it's actually getting up to that. It's actually getting up to that 144, and we had talked about both the levels. I know Luca should be looking at this as well, but it just pulled back to 142. But I did want to say, and I love this community for this. There was a question about the TD Ameritrade, and I saw, and it looks like it was SL saying they use TD as well, and there's a setting in there that you should make sure that you are actually seeing live trades, because there is actually a setting on the platform. I don't use it to trade myself, so I'm glad you guys are able to step up just to make sure that everyone is seeing, you know, use your platform to the best of your advantage. The other thing I should say is, look, man, you got a broker. I don't care who they are. They work for you. So if you got a question, you ask them. It's straight up, man. Like, you just, that they're there to work for you. So if you see an issue, you always make sure that you ask them, regardless of what it is. Even if it seems like it's a silly question, you can always ask us, and if we have the answer, we'll let you know. We don't use it, so all we can tell you is that the quote that we're seeing relative to what you are as well. But definitely ask your brokers any questions and check that setting. Thank you guys so much for helping out there. That's the value of a big community, right? We get Tony in here. He's got a different perspective. Sean and I trade different styles. We get Arun. You got Luca. You got Pratt as well. So always take a second, hit the like, hit the subscribe. And if you don't like seeing Tony here, and then I don't know what to tell you, because I love the fact that he can just jump in out of nowhere, didn't know he was coming on until yesterday, and just start spitting knowledge, right? He's dropping science when it comes to some of these names. And I don't even know if he prepped for it. I'm sure he just sort of walked in off, from the back.
He prepped.
Well, I still have his sticky notes, by the way. I left them here because I just want to feel, like a little bit of it. But he's got the sticky notes from last time he stepped in for me. I'm assuming he'll put some up on yours when he steps in on Friday.
Yeah. He's going to be here on Friday, so huge fan of Tony's. And I mean, I'm glad that you're on here, Tony. How are you feeling today?
Oh, I couldn't be happier to be on again.
Good.
I mean, it's always nice to be on the show, talk about finance and stocks and all that. It's an exciting opportunity. Apologies for not taking off those sticky notes, by the way. I think I completely forgot about it. But if you want to leave them on, I won't take them off.
Why not?
But,
Don't leave them on my computer.
All right, sounds good.
All
I'll
right,
make sure
I'm
to
just
take
playing
them
whatever
with
you
me.
want. Okay, here goes Facebook right now. Bang, as that one goes. We talked about it here. And like I said, man, I'm trying to do better for you as well. Bringing on guests like Tony. Hope you like that. Send me a note if you do. I'll work on some more. But we love Tony. Trader Prad sits beside Tony right now as well. He's back in the building here. But again, and this is what I'm trying to do. There he is. What's up, Brad, as he goes. But this is what I'm trying to do. I told you guys earlier, you have wanted to know, like, hey, what positions are like bigger positions? Because like if I tell you, okay, you know, I'm just going long there, but it's a small amount of shares. Oh, I got stopped out. Ooh, I got stopped out. Like you guys might have lost thousands of dollars, but for me, I might have only lost $100, right? So I'm trying to let you know when I'm putting on bigger trades. And in this Facebook one I gave to you when it was against me, I said, this is my largest trade of the day right now for Facebook. So when you're going to hear me say stuff like that, the confidence level goes up. So that should to give you an idea about sort of what kind of risk we're putting on when we have it on, and then that's that. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. I'm trying my best to do that for you, give you guys higher confidence plays, and then let you know when I'm there, right? And it's just like even right now, I don't have very many shares left of this Apple at all, right? And so right now, I'm not really worried about where it's going. If Apple does fall into this 148 area, then, you know, we'll be sitting there with open arms to put on a similar trade to Facebook. But I hope that that's working out for you as much as it is. And let's just go on, because right now, GameStop looks like that's continuing to go to the upside. 143 and change, just taking out 143.50 right now.
There's a stacked bid here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, but that's probably nothing. But there it is right there. We'll see if that gets hit. It's 20,000 shares. So yeah, maybe if that gets hit, watch out for GameStop on that bid right there of 142.70. You guys can see that. We're now 60 cents in the money on an overloaded Facebook trade, guys.
Yeah, I just got into GameStop. It's close enough to 144, right? Like it got within $1, put a wick high at 143, so I jumped in at the halfway mark, and then we'll stop when it gets to the high. I'll take another shot at 144, and then 148, 150. Those are the only levels I like on GameStop, so we're going to try to stick to those. As far as the long goes, we are back above the 41.4, but the stocks I wanted the longs in, I'm talking Amazon. That's the first one. Didn't get to 121. Now it's not going to load. Tesla bounced off 710, is trying to reclaim 715 here. I don't know if we'll actually get there on Tesla, but it is trying to make that move back above 715. I think your 10 level is going to be a good one. Looks like the market does want to try to push toward that high of the day. Keep an eye on both the NASDAQ and the ES. There was a question in the chat asking what are the symbols for the futures. For the NASDAQ, if you have it, it's just NQ / M22, and it's ES M22 as a contract. Or for most people, if you don't have access to the futures and you want to look at the NASDAQ, just look at the triple Q, QQQ. It's going to be the exact same movement. It will be a different price. If you hear us call it a level, and my chart doesn't want to load here, it will give you the same price levels, if not the exact same price. And the other ETF for the S&P 500 is the SPY. You can always track that. Now nothing wants to load on my chart, so maybe we'll go to you, Sean.
Yeah, okay. So, Tony, first of all, I don't know if you have the show up, but open it up. Open it up on YouTube so you can see the chat, because I want you to address some of these issues, or not issues, but some questions there. You're welcome, Dex and Chris. And yeah, as long as Tony's free, man. How's the market making going, by the way?
For it. I think just some regulatory issues we're trying to clear out for now, but
all right.
I know we're trying to get that off the road and provide some much liquidity to some of the Canadian stocks. You know, the U.S. market cap, you know, is a lot larger than Canadian market cap.
Yeah, let's not give away all the secrets right here.
Okay,
Let's just run this for now. As we go here, as GameStop there, I know you took a small short there, Neil. That obviously came out. I just saw, but watch out for
145.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, watch out for 144. Sorry. 144.45, 145 flat there on that play. But your boy is in the building right now. It's Chicken Dinner Winners, and it is Facebook. So there it is, man. The energy is back in the building. There goes Facebook, a nice move to the upside. We're now 80 cents in the money on this move. So yeah, we're pretty happy about it. We did get out, I mean, whatever. And like I said, it's almost like I had that magic 8-ball here where I said that I would complain when it goes up that it don't have enough shares. So I got to do better on this, try to hold a little bit more, but that's a win, is a win, is a win. So hopefully you guys had that. We're pretty much on fire here on Facebook today. Like I said, look at all these bids. Bid early, 192, bang, out 194. That was a nice win. And then we've just been buying these dips again. We had one come against us. That was real fast. 193.60 out, 193.40. So that was a quick 20 or 30 cent hit. We were willing to do the same thing right here. I just missed that reload at 194. So that part sucks. We didn't take it there. We were waiting on this dip where we took some out at VWAP. And now you're all the way into the 90s. Okay, man, I got to take a piece out right there. There it is, out 92. Use the NASDAQ gateway when it's a NASDAQ stock. A nice move back up. And I said we wouldn't have a problem getting to 195. Well, we did. We had a little bit of one, but there it is, a nice move upside. And we always say, Tony, pay yourself first. So there it is. We'll take it out a little bit here. We've been paying ourselves all the way upside, and there it is, a nice little win for Facebook. Couldn't be happier with that one. So yeah, we'll just go whoa, 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 as the catapult is here and working quite nicely.
Yeah, and look, GameStop, not AMC. I'll check AMC in a quick second. I'm assuming it's making a move too. It probably broke that level. But GameStop, 148, and I think it was about like 50 cents, 30 cents, something along those lines. It was barely a break of 148 the last time it got there. 150 obviously becomes into play there. But those are the key levels after you get that breakout from the last consolidation. It just got to 46.74. And the truth of the matter is, like, I don't believe in necessarily, like, you don't throw the darts. If it's not at a good level or doesn't give you a good reason to get in, it put a parabolic move in. If it gets past 147, then I would be taking this one short into that 148 high. And that's just the way I like to play the risk to reward. So you're not going to see me in it off this level. There's a decent chance it could still consolidate and go higher, but that's what I'm going to have to see to jump into it. I'm a little bit surprised by the fact that we haven't actually seen news for Virgin Galactic yet. I mean, I can't. Whatever, it could have just been like a technical break and I don't know, but a volume spike that big, I would expect to see something happen. It's starting to claw back to the upside. I just don't see any reason why it should trade going green on the session. So if it does continue to climb, I think that is going to be worth the fade. That is not the one I'm going to play for a pullback. Yaz asking if we think oil needs to make a pullback. I mean, any healthy upside, any healthy trend to the upside, I should say, should have pullbacks in it, but you know, obviously as an overall thing, energy's been just going absolutely crazy. We were long on XOM today when it broke that 100 level. And if you look at how strong it is, I know it's closed right now because it's past 3 o'clock, but certainly we're ending on strength. At least it did end on strength, and you are at a bit of a double top. This 120 would be resistance. If it gets through that, I think we've taken another leg to the upside. We actually had one of our former guests was mentioning 147 would be the next stop if we get through this 120 level. Even if it did pull back, the trend is still pretty clean. You're not breaking 110. You've been riding the 50 period on the way to the upside here. So yeah, you could have some healthy pullbacks. If anything, this 120 would be that level right here and right now. But oil futures are closed for the session, so you're not going to see too much volume from here on out.
All right, so we're going to wrap up our Tuesdays with Tony. It's been an absolutely fantastic run there as we get Facebook out at 195. I said, yeah, stay there, Tony. You're not going anywhere yet. I said that we'd have hopefully some Tony magic in this trade there. And you remember when I mentioned to you, say you like Facebook long. And you did mention that, so I want to give a big thank you to Tony. And thank you from everybody on the chat there. Any parting words, Tony?
Yes, absolutely. I think just to touch up again on GME. I saw it actually almost try to break 147, 148 right back there, but seeing a little bit more of a pullback just now back to the 143 level. So pretty rough pullback at the moment, but we might start going to the high side again. But I guess with closing words, all I want to say is it's always a pleasure being here. Always beyond delighted to see all the support in the chat. Thank you, everybody, always for the warm welcomes. I think if there's one more stock thing I could kind of talk about, it's again with Target. And so I think I previously mentioned how consumer staples are pretty much holding better than consumer discretionaries. I think Dollar Tree might be one of the better examples of a staple company selling. It's pretty much a staple for the a lot of the lower income communities. I would know. I used to shop at Dollar Tree a lot. A lot of people buy their groceries from a store like this, and then you also have Target, which I believe Target's more of the targets more of the higher, or at least middle to upper middle class in terms of the home goods that they're selling. Pricier items at Target as well, now down only 3% on the day after revising guidance. But if there's one darling of the COVID pandemic that has not been doing very well in more recent times, it's Wayfair, which is pretty much Target on steroids, except for the fact that Wayfair doesn't have a positive EBITDA, and also they sell no groceries, they sell no cheap wines, they just simply sell home goods. And so this stock looks a lot like Carvana share price actually, fallen from pretty much $360 at one point last January, all the way now down to $54. With I think $5 billion market cap, this company could be in a lot of trouble, as I think rumors of a recession have pretty much been whispered among people not even very well familiar with finance. I know people that have been looking at the markets a lot, looking at them religiously. We've been sort of talking about perhaps the chance of recession, since February of this year when the tech indices really started to correct. But I think rumors of a recession have started to spread as well now. So it's really fascinating to see how a lot of these retailers do. But with all that being said, I'd like to thank you all once again for all the warm welcomes. It's beyond a pleasure to be here on Tuesdays, and I will see you guys again on Friday as Sean heads out for a nice trip. But yeah, I shall see all of you guys around. Thank you, and take care.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tony, for coming on. It's going to be a great regular segment. And you were just mentioning Wayfair there, but that's like a 30% short interest. Like that's a heavy, at least from when I checked it. If you look at that, there's a great website called Float Checker. You can get the shares, shortable float, outstanding shares, the actual available float there. And across the board, it's about 32 to 33% short. So it has been weighing on pretty heavily. Going to go to Brendo in a quick second here, but a wick top on GameStop, you just mentioned, Tony, but also AMC had just wicked top through 13. So I missed GameStop, but jumped into AMC when I saw that big pullback because it's below 13 even. So I got 95s, give it to the high of the day. But I believe Brendan's got a little something for us.
Just another one getting some love as well on the short side of things. Rocket, RKT, one we haven't mentioned in a long, long time. Apparently the Wall Street Bets crowd liking Rocket today, guys.
Oh, wow.
I missed whatever that was.
It was Rocket. Rocket's back in play.
Oh, Rocket's back in play. Okay. That's good. All right. So, yeah, Rocket companies, they gave that special dividend. I don't know. Last time I saw this name, wasn't it like sub $10? Yeah. So back down to $8.60. But again, another name, T. So at least it was last time. Let me check this out. This is from Luca, floatchecker.com. Let's just quickly check this out. RKT. Thank you, Tony. That was very nice of you to come through. I'm glad that we got that going. All right. So here's Rocket companies right now. And this is a great website. It's floatchecker.com. Again, not affiliated, but I trust it here. Let me move it over a little bit here for you. I've double checked these numbers, not on every stock, but when they're all very, very similar. Yahoo, Finviz, TD Ameritrade, we talked about them already, Morningstar, and the Wall Street Journal. So they're all here. Sometimes you get difference of opinions here on outstanding shares, like 2 billion versus 115 million. So obviously there's a little bit of differences in this, but it's the short float that we're looking at, and they're all about the same. So 25+% on RKT companies. So again, watch out for them as they're trying to take out the top. And there's been a lot of these low floaters. I mean, we actually had a segment about that that we tried to talk about there. But this has been pretty Deadsville here. These guys are just getting their lunch eaten. Obviously, they tried to come out with just like against traditional finance, selling stuff on an app and this and that. But come on, man, you have to have more than that for Rocket companies. So it's just been a really, really sad move for them. We were actually an investor in this, and we got caught up in all of this. And I remember wondering what to do. We were able to get out of some of this, thinking it was going to completely moon Rocket companies, but it didn't. Came back in. This is when they were offering that $1 special dividend. A lot of short squeezes happened there, but Rocket companies might be worth it down here, down to $7. But again, only $8.60 now. At least it has that potential to blast off at any time. So watch out for Rocket Company. It might be a good name here that has been beat down so much. We'll wait. I don't know when their earnings are, but to me, that's the next I guess, sword to drop for them. I mean, if they can't hit earnings, then it's probably see you later for this company anyways. But on a kind of a nice short float, you actually want them to miss on earnings, so then it goes down, and then you can hit it back to the upside like Gap, if you remember the way that thing traded.
Yeah, and maybe they'll actually slow down their spending in the Big Ten, because every time I watch like a Michigan State game, it's like Rocket all over the place. They're advertising heavily, but we've seen that actually a lot. The SoFi as well in the crypto space, especially right before these little crashes. When the hype reaches that maximum, who knows? maybe it's a little bit of a sign. HUSA, we just showed oil at the high of the day, so why not? Why wouldn't HUSA be right back up testing $7? It never broke 7 this morning. I shorted off 6. I tried a long off 6 and then a short off 6 and then waited till it got to $7 to put a short on. Now I'm looking right back to 7 even once again. So it looks like we could see a bit of a breakdown. Remember, oil futures, as I said, are closed, so you might not see a monster extension on any oil futures prices. And HUSA has had some trouble above this at about 750. But that does give you some scalpable trades if it were to break 7 on good volume, which for now, it is lacking. It's kind of hard for you guys to see. I'll try to do this, just pull this as far up as I can. This is the amount of volume it's doing going into the high, which is reflective of the fact that obviously the oil futures are closed. The momentum not really what it was earlier on in the session when it was just chewing up volume in the morning. So I'd prefer if it was breaking 7 on higher volume, but it has a chance to spike. It's still 20 cents away. We could easily see that. Tesla getting very close to 720. That is a big level for Tesla. And GameStop making another run at that high of the day. Okay, not quite to 147 or that 148 level, but it's getting close. If it gets to that price, that's what I'm kind of waiting around for to see if I can take another shot at the short side of the trade that we tried at 43 and stopped out. But if it doesn't get there, it doesn't get there. We don't have to put the trade on.
And then also AMC as well, right? You were in that name. What is that doing here? I always want to, yeah, okay, so up to 12 again for AMC. Yeah, well, sorry, 13 or 12. What am I talking about? Wow, yeah, nice little move upside there for AMC. Still making those moves, guys. So I don't know, maybe is this the runner that I need into the close? Maybe on this 1350 break here for AMC? Maybe that is. I'm trying to do something there. How do you know when the dip is actually a dip and not a reversal, Mike Jack? Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, right? I wish I sort of knew that answer, but how can I tell when a dip is a dip and not a reversal? So I'll answer that question here, Mike Jack. I feel like, and I say this all the time, you got to have your outs, and I don't really know if it's a dip or not. I mean, I feel like on Amazon this morning when we had, let me show you quickly here. I'll go back to Facebook, but now that I think about it, we actually had a event today that triggered me into a trade for Amazon. So at 8, where is it here? When those imbalances came out for the market at 9:25, I know I wanted the short in Amazon, right? So we were short all day. Basically news came out. It's not news, it's the market on open imbalances, but the point is the same, that once it got extended past a certain level, we knew we wanted that short. So when that happens and you make a move one way against you, then that's sort of where I like to take those trades, knowing that I have an out higher, like the out was going to be near 124, but it doesn't matter. I wanted the short, right? So how do you know a dip is a dip and not a reversal? Well, if you look at Facebook here, which is what I was just trying to cover here, you never really know what's going to happen. All I try to do is pick a way and a direction that I like the stock for that day. Today, we knew we wanted Facebook log. So every time we came in to a level that we thought could hold, and this one was 193 based on this. So I like to look at some of this garbage that happens and say, you know what? If we can clear, whoa, too many ellipses. If we can clear through this, then that's just one small trade there, and that's not a dip. This was going to try to change. But once we see that this has happened, then I try to play off this as our long. So we come in here, dips, so here it comes in. So here's a move, right? Dips into 193, then back up, dips again, back up. We did get stopped out there when it broke, but all of these were dips back in, right? Included what we just did right here. A dip back in, didn't go as far that time, but then an upside move, and then it's happening right here again at 195, where we've already seen this high a bunch of times. So I feel like if you've seen the level before and it's just doing the same thing that it's already done, then you're actually not really dipping into 193. What's it have to do to change my mind? It would have to break down below some of these levels that I'm trying to support. So in this case, it would be 192.40 or so. So I feel like you need a complete change in direction, not just these dip downs to be wrong. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think you got to sit there and make calls on stock. This whole get short, and then if it breaks, I'm out, then get short again. That's a style that Neil will do. And that's on sort of pullbacks. And I mean, names that are going parabolic, I think is a term that Neil likes to use, like a HUSA.
Only parabolic
exactly.
stocks. Never do that on a linear stock. If it's going up and it's a strong regular stock, like Palantir used to do that all the time. If it's doing this, do not do that strategy because you just get stopped out. If it's doing this, then you can deploy that strategy because the pullback will give you enough juice that if you lost 3 times, you only have to win once. And that's the only way that works, the only way.
You're out of AMC. Someone saying that.
Oh, God, yeah, high of the day.
That AMC
high
shorts.
Of the day, man.
Yeah,
high
okay.
Of the day.
Yeah, that's out. So AMC's out.
But Husa, you can't beat him, join him. It finally broke $7. So it got to 7 quarters. So I took some out there. It's 7 quarters, 750. I showed you the daily chart. 750 is a level on Husa. So obviously, if it gets to that 750, I'll take another leg out. It's a decent volume spike. It broke out on bigger volume. You still can't see. I apologize for that, guys. I know we have the position board, so I got to do this. It did break out on significant volume spike. That's why I like that long. I didn't actually take it on the break of 7. I allowed it to trade above a bit, see if it was putting in some good volume, and once it did that above that price, then I just got in at 05. That's why I don't have a long at 01 or 02, because I did give it a couple of beats to see if it could, get. It's not that 1,000, 2,000. I know some traders do that, but it's really just to see the price acceptance. Did someone come in when it broke 7, immediately sell, saying I'll take that all day long and then take it back below 7 even, or does it continue to do volume, break out on the volume indicator, and also have those bids above 7 even? So it was a tight spread, 1 cent the whole way. The bids were following it up, so that's why I like that to the long side. It's just this, and I'm holding some GitLab from earlier. Tesla never got to 720, so I guess we don't get to play that level. But also watch out for the NASDAQ. I know you're trading a little bit of a lot of Facebook there, but the NASDAQ right at this 12.7 high, and it's just been like, look how tightly it is holding to this exact top, 1270 on the NASDAQ. I know it's only 0.6% up on the session, but there's room to go if it breaks out from this level. So we will get some indication as to where the imbalances might be, either direction. But I think the fact that we're at significant levels in the futures weigh a little bit more than that. We either break out from here and start making a run at the highs we saw yesterday, or we get a rejection and then your shorts should work into the close.
That's funny you said that because I was literally just getting out of Facebook right now and out of Apple. So we're done. We'll ring the register and spin this for you one more time because the money's coming in there on Facebook today. Like I said, big trade for me. We'll leave it at that. And then also we just got out of our, I don't know if these are going to be right or not, but you're taking down the 50 period. You just talked about a trend change. That's why I have the 50 period on here. I don't like to hold things long if we're below the 50 period and vice versa on the short. If you're above, I don't want to hold it. So if the NASDAQ's going to break, Facebook looks like it did break it, right? Facebook broke it all the way down to 194.50 there. And then when it came back up, I was like, you know what, I'll just get it out. And I actually wanted to. And Gary Mills, I'm here for you. I see your super chat. You are not being ignored. I'm going to get all over that in a second. AMD, I want to go short on this name. It's been weak. Let's put on a trade right now. And again, we will average into this one. You can see where we're going. I believe this is the one that's worth the risk right now. You're down 1% here on AMD. If you're going to take out, and again, I'll give back some money right now. I mean, this is what I'm going to do. Like I said to you that I'd tell you when we're putting on risk. Right here, AMD, we're putting it on. We'll see if it can hold through this 105. I hope it does. But if this market wants to fade out, and again, maybe we should get some imbalance data coming out soon. We should get it. It is coming out. But I don't really know what it is. If Brendan or Brad finds out from FJ Financial Juice, we'll do that as well. Again, not affiliated. We just like to see what it is. I'm going to be short until this 104 breaks. 105 breaks on AMD. We'll take another offer at 85, which is right here. And then if it breaks higher, we'll give it a little bit of love. And it sucks to lose on it, but we tried the long and it didn't work. And good thing we got out. Look where we got out, man, on a VWAP break all the way to the downside. And like I say all the time, instead of just getting out of a name that I thought was weak, I should have shorted that because it went down basically 80 cents in a straight line to the downside there. A little bit of giddy up on right here, but no surprise that we stopped as it stopped right into support. So let's see what AMD wants to do there. Okay, Gary Mills, you sent this €5 and let's talk about, or British pounds. Let's talk about that right now. Tony, where's the beer at? Yeah, I'm trying to find the same thing. You guys want to send beer on Turnaround Tuesdays, Tony Tuesdays as well, then yeah, you guys can send that in. That was great 2 Fridays ago. Neil was out that week, but yeah, Tony's back this Friday, so you guys can do that if you want. But okay, where do you buy more XLE? So you're already in at 86.50 long, 200 shares, it doesn't matter the shares. I want to add eventually. The reason why the shares don't matter is because you've already said here that you want to do double your position. So you're in half of your position right now, and I treat everything the same, whether or not it's 10 shares, 1,000 shares, because we don't know your risk tolerance and sort of like, you know, how you guys are rolling. So let's look at this quickly here. Gary Mills, as I'm still a little bit, not worried, but I want to watch this A and B trade as well. So mind me if that starts going. Okay. I always say this. This is a 1 minute chart, so there's not much to look at on this. Obviously, XLE's been rocking, man. We're long since February on XLE, so let's see where that goes now. But it's a nice move to the upside. For me, I feel like oil is still going to start to go. So if you get a temporary pullback, even into those levels, man, where you're at, this 86.50, then fine. Like maybe that's something that you could get back into, but you're already in at that price. So for me, I don't like averaging up on this. XLE's kind of gone parabolic here with oil, but I still think oil goes to 140. So if I believe that, then I think I'd average in, even if it pulled back into this area. And then if we look at a daily chart, though, that's a little bit more interesting when you try to find out, you know, worst case type of scenarios. I always look at the 50 period. So you can see it's kind of resisted any move down. We did have a little bit of action there in December, but since then, every break of the 50 period has been bought back. So we broke it here when it was probably at 75. We only went to like 72. We broke again there down to 71. So I would say a safer play would be 80 to get back in, but I think you're doing pretty good, man. My target for oil is around that 140 mark. So right now, you're just chilling at 120. So I feel like you have another 10 or so % up, which brings XLE to 100. So I'd say you want to trim this out, like maybe 95, 97, something like that. And then hopefully that answers your question. Mr. Gary Mills. What's up, Mr. Brendan Wiggins?
I had one for natural gas, but I wanted to mention Novavax here quickly. NVAX never opened today, guys, which is kind of surprising. I see a few people talking about some results. Remember, this FDA panel was talking about and I guess discussing whether or not to allow this COVID-19 vaccine to go through. The vote is 21 yes, 0 no, and 1 that abstained on whether or not to approve this NVAX vaccine, it would appear. So it seems positive. Again, the stock is still halted right now. I don't see a resumption time, and there's exactly 30 minutes left in the day. So whether or not we'll get this trade today remains to be seen or not. But NVAX still halted. It looks like the news, though, very positive. I mentioned natural gas, ENSV, a little one, 2 million float on this. I'll double check again, but very small float on this, trying to go here late in the day as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to open it back up, but I was wrong about that. I think it was like Spirit Airlines or something, and I'm like, what are they doing with this stock? Like, why don't they just halt it? And then they ended up like opening that thing back up and then halting it 5 minutes later and getting people caught in overnights. I was one of them. But NVAX, I don't think they'll open it back up. Sounds like pretty good news for them. The 50 period could get broken when we look at this one tomorrow. It should be on your radar, assuming what would logically make sense is that they would open it tomorrow. Should be on your radar for sure because it's got some pretty interesting. It made a huge bottom off $40 here that it's breaking out from. I don't think you're going to get a 50 break. It's probably going to open. It's going to open about $50 if the news is positive like we just expect to see it there. So we'll trade it tomorrow because that's all we're able to do. If it does somehow open up, I'm actually going to dedicate a level 2 on the off chance that does happen, just in case. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I don't think it will, but we want to be ready for it. GameStop is continuing to push. There's some seller coming in at 146, and I know I'm waiting for 148, but that's like, if we break this area here at 146, I would feel like that 148 is not going to matter, and it probably pops to 150, the amount that it's coiling. Either it fails here, and you get a pullback maybe to 140, or if it breaks out from the top, it's unlikely to stop at one level as strong as it's been, and probably goes to the second level, which is 150. So I don't really like shorting a 148. I think that's going to be a bit of a sucker's play. I'm going to be getting out of Twitter pretty quickly here. Well, you know what? It hasn't broken the high of the day, but I might start getting more out because it is not doing anything. We always say if it ain't moving, you don't want to be stuck in it. It's not not really going against because it's right at that $40 level, but it's not breaking out either, and it's not capitulating. Tesla is right rubbing up to that 720 level. We're right at 12.7 on the NASDAQ. The ES is breaking out, so we could have a chance for that late day break right around the imbalances. Brendo?
All right, just to make it official, guys, I'll show you the Reuters headline anyways on this NVAX news. So the FDA voting to back this vaccine from Novavax. Again, still halted right now. If you missed it, though, that was just a reporter talking about it. 20 to 0, so 20 yeses, 0 no's, and 1 that abstained on whether or not to pass this Novavax vaccine. Again, still halted. Hopefully we get to trade it today.
Just amazing that as we get through COVID, their vaccine now finally approved. So yeah, that sucks for them, but hey, better to be approved than not. That's for sure. So we'll see what NVAX is doing now. And I shouldn't say we're through it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe perhaps it is wishful thinking for that. But yeah, that's kind of sucks for them. Okay, well, I mean, it's great news for them. Let's just wish it was approved for shareholders maybe a year and a half ago. But a good step is a good step. And again, I guess because we shouldn't speak, because in first world, obviously a little different situation. Yeah. Maybe that can get distributed around the world, and Novavax can make a difference that way. So, all right, yeah, there it is. So we are into our AMD as the market pumps higher and higher and higher here. Financial juice, a whopping 17 million to buy. So we're not going to be too worried about that. We were waiting for 85s. I got impatient there and took an 80 short. So now our average price is 74 on this. Twitter, we've been in this the whole day. The whole show, literally since 2 o'clock. Excuse me, when that news came out, but yeah, it's not doing anything. We'll wait to see if that can come back in. Maybe there. Excuse me, I just chugged this water. Maybe there's a sell imbalance coming on that one. Yeah, the Bulls are going to sleep good tonight, eh? Okay, we'll see. NVAX halted so Nancy Pelosi's husband can buy calls. Well, you're not going to be able to buy calls on a halted name anyways, is my understanding. But
I mean, I know the conspiracy theory, but in that case, you'd already have them. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, especially if it's 20 to 21 to nothing or whatever that was there.
Yeah, I mean, that vote was a landslide.
Pretty obvious on that one. All right, here we go. The market's starting to take out new day highs now. So no surprise on that one, to be honest with you. That's why we went long into Facebook, but we're out of now of Facebook. We did have a small piece on it. It's just, I like the AMD short, so our last out on Facebook is going to suck because it's right back to 195, just like our last out on Apple's also. Actually, our last out on Apple was 66. That's only at 80 as we take out days highs. So maybe the short is Apple, not AMD. So we'll watch out to see here as AMD right there just wicked almost through to 105 there as we're breaking through VWAP. We're going to give it a little bit more room than this. We always had the room was 105. So we are now out of the money on this one. 14 cents out of the money now on AMD. But nice little move back up to 105 there. As if that happens, the day takes it out. That sucks. We were playing reverse here on AMD. What's up, Brendo?
Just watch Intel and NVIDIA here. Just seeing a couple things on a possible partnership between the two. So NVIDIA and Intel just popping up on some volume.
Very quickly, I should jump to that in a quick second, but Tesla, I can't help myself. I mean, 720, it got right up there and then found it got to 97. And the second I saw it fail at 97, I'm like, you know what, I can reverse the trade. So I just went short at 81s, scalped it to 79. I'll still reverse into a long if I can get it on Tesla. But we've seen, like, the market already broke out, right? Like, we're 15 points past the high on the ES at 4140, the resistance on the ES, 4140. The NASDAQ took out the high. So if Tesla's going to resist, then it might be worth a scalp trade. I have to note the fact that it hasn't been breaking out at the same time as the market, so I will take one shot at the short. At this point, it can't lose because I already scalped some out, but I do like the long reversal at 720. I do intend on taking it as long as we do get it in due time before the market closes, obviously. But I did take the shot at the short in front first.
All right, Facebook, wow, it continues to go. We all are waiting for AMD here, but Apple's still taking down. I mean, maybe not. I mean, this is a name that could be interesting here. I don't know if I want to be short AMD and Apple right now, but I feel like Apple is the right short at this level. I mean, what was this level looking like yesterday? Okay, let's just drop down in like 5 minutes here to see. So there's 149. Okay, that's fine. Look at all these trades for Apple that I've been doing. 150, that's 151. We're nowhere near there. What is our price for Apple right now? Okay, yeah, so right here, 149. Too many ins and outs to look at this, but I don't know. I'm thinking this is too high up. It doesn't want to go through 149. There we go. We'll take these out. That's probably 150. So still some more upside here. Yesterday, the only last time we were here was in the pre-market of the 3rd. We got up there and then fell off. So I'm not too concerned about any sort of pre-market levels right there. But there we go. Now the market wants to just take out day's high. So the market is now taking out day's high. So Apple going to test that 149 for sure now. And AMD's trying to test me upside at 105. And it looks like that's going to try to break that level. And then honestly, there's no point in throwing money away up to this level. If there was still a little bit more time left, then I could see this. But we've seen the runs happen late, and it's like if this is where you want to go, market, then let's go and just get there. So AMD just took down 105. Our out's going to be a little north of that. We've always said that. So maybe a 105.10, something like that. But let's see what AMD can do from here as the market now taking out day's high. It just sucks because we should still, no, it doesn't suck, but that Facebook trade that we had was just such a monster down there, and I just dropped it, and I shouldn't have done that. So, well, I should have done it. I mean, it was a good call up to 195, but again, we don't have anything on when the big move finally happened. So let's just try to massage this AMD trade and see where we go from here on that one. 105.10 or so as an out for AMD.
And speaking of where we're going, I mean, it seems like 150 on GameStop. It got to 149.48, so dodged the bullet. And I just sort of felt it was a gut call that if it was either going to make the pullback there, if it broke up, 148 was going to be meaningless because that was so tight to where the high of the day was, and we're likely to see 150. And when you're going counter trend, then really you should find reasons to talk yourself out of the trade instead of reasons to get into it, and that'll probably suit you well. As strong as this move is, obviously, like Tesla's giving you this 720 level, and it gave you a little bit of a pullback here, but I'm not sure how far it's going to pull back if we're actually sustaining the breakout in the overall market. So I'm kind of looking at this and saying, yeah, whatever. This doesn't feel like it's the right play to hold on to this back into 715 or 710, thinking it's going to be some kind of a home run on Tesla because, you know, like I was just telling you guys, like the NASDAQ got through the high of the day and is holding above. The ES is holding above as well. So I'd rather be trying to find a way to get into this in case it can sustain its break. So I'm thinking about a way to get into a long in Tesla here. If it holds green, that's above 715. So that's a good line in the sand. And then, of course, the 720 break does remain in play. But you know, I thought there might be $5 in that trade, and maybe there is. But I think hoping for it doesn't make any sense when the market doesn't verge a breakout. The only thing I still hold this Twitter, which is nonsense. I should have just got out of it. I got out of the GitLab because why hold on to any short that it doesn't make any sense. It gets to the high of the day. We're just going to get out of it. Tesla, it's got to be 720. I don't think we're going to get a play in Amazon, although that is at that 123 level. That was a good level this morning, but I really think 124 is that line in the sand. So there's room to run. If it tries to pull back, VWAP is a play here. This market is breaking out, so I think you only want to look for longs. Once your stop outs happen on the short, I want to be hunting for longs into 350 here. Hopefully Tesla gives the break of 720, but there's no guarantees there.
Jamie, going to hit 150. Eh? Okay, we're getting a little bit out of Tesla. You were just talking about that. Out of Twitter. Both companies similar there, of course, as we know what's going on with those names. We did average into our AMD. I mean, we talked about that. We just took a 90. Now this isn't going to load. I didn't have any of these issues earlier. Okay. So now I don't have a chart either, so we'll just switch to another stock. There it comes. We just took a 92 right there on AMD, so let's see. We should have waited a little bit to get a little bit of a better price, but that's okay. We don't have that crystal ball, so we'll wait to see if this comes back in. My first bids are in the 60s here, so let's see if we can dip down in for AMD and hopefully have a little bit on. But yeah, the market's pushing highs. Like, I don't know. We should be able to. We could get out for flat, but let's just see and play with this a little bit here. Hopefully this will come back in, and we will be able to get something out. Good luck on GME at 150. Okay, well, let's have a look to see if we need some luck on this name. I didn't pay. Ooh, it is. It's at 150 right now. It's already touched this. We talked about this earlier, man. 150 came into play on a daily chart not too long ago. This was just when GameStop started to go just last week. What was it last week? This day, May 26th. Yeah, so that might have been a Tuesday. I don't know. But there it is, a nice little move back to 150. It's trying to test it again. Look at the support, I guess the resistance at 150 there. You break higher. Not only do you have the 200 period on the daily, but wow, GameStop, like the apes, man, congratulations to you guys. You've stuck around with this name. Like this was just $90 2 weeks ago. Literally on the 25th. I mean, that's before that move. So let's call it the 24th. You were 89.50. Now today you're 150. Like people that are sitting there complaining, oh, the market's dead, I'm getting killed. Well, I mean, GameStop's giving you guys, I'm not in it, so, but GameStop's giving you 90 there, a move to 130, back down to 80, a move then to 200, a move down to 80 again. Where are we going to stop? 150 is where it says we're stopping. Okay, there's a nice little downside move. And like I said, man, the more I'm a detriment to myself. Like the more I go over there and trade, I let AMD fall down. I see instantly a dime in the money and I start bidding it out. What am I doing? Here we go. We are in the 60s though. We're looking for a bid on that right now. We're bidding 66. I said that before. You know where it stopped? 69. So let's see. We didn't get obviously hunted there. If we can come back down, let's start to take some more out here on AMD. As we only have 17 minutes. Neil and I, if you're watching for the first time, need to be flat at approximately 4 o'clock. So hopefully, and I say that, you know, obviously just joking around. There are rules here, and it's like 4 o'clock, we need to be out. So we are day trading. We're using the firm's capital. So that's just a risk measure that we have to get out of our trades. But there we go. We said we start bidding in the 60s. And yes, sir, the money's starting to finally come in on this short for AMD against that 105. So happy with that trade now. We didn't get enough out in the 60s. Let's make sure we do get some more out here if it does fall back down as I'm watching this position like a hawk, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the pullback did just happen. The NASDAQ trying to get to that 12.7 mark. There was a question asking me what I think about Square. I'm going to start it with the chart of the recovery in Bitcoin today. It's back above that 30,000. You are seeing it scream to the upside, and there is, I mean, it's not a gigantic correlation, but it has been running, block has been running with it. A strong move off of 81, where that's my support level for the week on Square, and that's where it bounced off of today, but it was back and forth, kind of dirty trading in the morning, and I was focused on Tesla at the time. I think it should be challenging higher. I'd expect it to have been challenging 86, 87, given that we're closing on these highs, and Bitcoin is absolutely rallying. So it feels like it has some selling that it has to chew through with this 85 level, and then you can make another leg up. So it might need a day two rally in the markets as well to get past it. But 81's your support for now. Brendo?
I see a few people talking Apple TechCrunch circulating a note from yesterday, from the event yesterday on the whiteboard announcement they made. Talking about Zoom as well. But I mean, there was some volume that came in there on the downside, but it's news from yesterday, so the market should understand that, we would hope. Just quickly, no update or a reopen time for NVAX yet, if you missed it. Looks like the FDA going to approve their COVID vaccine, but we're down to 15 minutes here, guys.
Mine's working. Someone just brought to our attention here about Apple, and they said I was right on Apple as well. Just the market's pulled back, man. I mean, we were looking at that Apple 149, and yeah, that would have been a good trade there. It was just there. I mean, we could have had it. We chose AMD instead. That just went down to the 50 period, so that was 30 cents. So, I mean, again, it looks like it's just funny. That's twice now today. I just seem to pick the wrong name. Darn it. AMD, again, we thought this would be a little weaker, but I guess if you're going to go from the very top of AMD, that still is 105 down to 70, so you still get a 30-cent move. So I guess it's okay right there for AMD. And again, you know, averaged in, trying to get it out on an average out, but then really thinking that if the market does fail, which it doesn't want to, the market just bounced off of, didn't even come to the 50-period moving average there before bouncing off. So it actually bounced at the previous day's high. That's not a good sign for a bear. So yeah, that bounced off of previous day's high. So the people that were caught long right there on this break, they should have been forced to get flushed, but they didn't, and their long still holds. So that's not good sign to take out some of these levels. But that's fine. Like we have already, and again, we're already out. We're out of 40% of that trade down there. So again, sometimes scalping works. We did break below that 50 period, which enabled us to get into scalp mode. But here you go, right back up to the upside one more time for AMD. Might be worth a reload, but now that I've seen that little resistance there, I don't know, man. I get the feeling that we test the highs one more time. And we're not even that far away. We're 10 points away on the NASDAQ. So this one, a very, very nervous position here if you're short the market for sure.
And still looking for a chance at Tesla 720. Obviously, we run out of time. If not 350, I mean, obviously 4 o'clock, but possibly 350. I don't like breakout trades in the last 10 minutes. I mean, sometimes you get those small cap names which have a shot to give you that late day runner. I'm cheering for you, Jan. Jan bounced off VWAP here, so it's managed to hold that $4 area. So there's your chance. I mean, it's still having trouble getting through that halt price. Every time it wicks above, there are still sellers at 440, 450, but it's done the first job, which is to hold a higher low. And I hope it can get back to that $5 level. I'm not trading it. It's kind of late in the day, and I don't really see too many opportunities for me. I'm just kind of looking at Tesla here, and then kind of watching Amazon as well. That didn't pull back into VWAP. It's ending the day relatively strong after making a double bottom at 121, so we'll file that one away. 120, 121 have held support. We know about 124 and 125. If you're going to diddle in the middle, make sure you got some. I don't have a reason to. I just think VWAP where it held at 122 in a booming market makes sense, but make sure you have a plan of action. If it presses up to 124, I don't think I'll put that trade on because we have run out of time to be shorting any pops, I would think, on Amazon. But Tesla's still in play for that 720 for now.
Yeah, and there goes AMD again. So we're out of that as it takes out 105. You know, we tried it, you know, whatever. It's turned out to be a flat trade. That sucks. I wish we had more money to make on that play. But again, we wind up losing about, I don't know, what was our average price? 80, 88, 89, maybe even higher than that. And then we wind up losing, getting out at 105.10 there. So about 15 or 20 cents, almost exactly what we were making there. And I said that we had 40% out, so that means we had 60% left, plus a small reload there at 97 to lose again. So that sucks. But we were just saying that when the market looked like it didn't want to break lower there. So that's a problem. We're only a minute away from the imbalances. I'm guessing that they're going to be kind of a nothing burger right now. So we're going to wait into that one for that. It doesn't look like there's going to be anything, but it looks like it's a nice upside move here for everything. Apple. Actually, not for Apple. Like, Apple's the one that doesn't seem to want to go again. Like I said, if we had just shorted Apple at 149 instead of AMD, look at AMD right now. Wow, nice move upside. I guess it does want to try to get to positive. There it goes, right back to that 105.50. If anything, that's a level, but I don't know about shorting this. Look at this move. AMD straight up to the upside right now. Looks like this market does want to take off here into the close. So I'm guessing it's going to be a buy imbalance, and they're just sort of front running this, but a nice move to the upside here as pretty much everything on my board is green here today. Big time movements happening. Microsoft is up at 1.5% today as well.
I'm kind of kicking myself because we talked about that move just now in crypto being super strong, breaking that 30,000 level. And there was a trade. I mean, there's obviously a trade in MSTR whenever it does it, but now that's actually going parabolic. But this actually reflects the move that we are seeing. Like, it is a huge one that we are seeing, guys. Just absolute crazy price action on not just Bitcoin. Ethereum is making power moves as well. Just absolutely insane what we're seeing in crypto, and MSTR is booming along with it. I haven't checked on Coinbase, but crazy price action we're seeing in crypto land, man. I wish I had gone over to MSTR. I kind of forgot about it while we were watching Tesla and some others.
Yeah, we've someone's saying what's up with Twitter, but yeah, I mean, I just got to make sure, because I got to change my stop. I don't have any shares really left on Twitter, so as that starts to go to the upside, but we shorted there. It's going to be a negative stock, but not that bad. We were able to get some of these what am I shorting now? 05, some of them out at 90, and then the best out, and then 94, and then again at O's. So you're starting to tick up higher right now into this close. But there we go, man. I don't know what that came out as, but not good, I guess, for the market, as the market just went to, great for the market, not good for the shorts. As the market's starting to go back up to the upside, we can have a quick look on the imbalances right now. CERN, 17 million to sell. No idea what's up with that. Buyout, okay, buyout delete, so that's going down. SRNE, Apple, there's the buy for Apple. Still didn't spike Apple to the upside. So I'm going to short Apple now against 149 and just see if this gets paired off. Apple shorting into 149.
So Amazon did come out, what did I see? 750,000. You know what? In my head, I'm like, oh yeah, 750,000 for Amazon when it was 2,000 would have been gigantic, but that's not quite as big when it's a $100 stock. So there's a small move to the upside there, not a heck of a lot. I think that's more to do with the market just sort of breaking out a little bit, but it's just muscle memory, man. Like, I saw that number and kind of got excited about it, but that's not that big. I think the story right here would be that you're continuing this breakout. I've canceled Tesla, the Tesla break. It's just too late in the day for me to want to make that trade. So, at this point, I'll give up the 720 level. It's still a good level, and we can trade off it hopefully tomorrow. But it does look like that breakout might not happen for us here. Still an opportunity to watch Tesla. I could have held on to that short for a couple more bucks, but it felt like the right decision to ultimately get out of that one and just take the profit.
Yeah, I still, oh man, like tomorrow's going to be a different day, right? And we're just going to leave today and get out of this. We took one last trade here. Oh, I'm still not out of Twitter. I guess I should just punch out of Twitter there. Affirm, also a nice little move to the upside here. We were short, we're going to watch Apple, but we were short Affirm. Let's just talk about that quickly here. I'm just going to bid out of Twitter. I basically don't have any shares, so we're out of that. Affirm was a great short. Like, we had to average into it before it came all the way back, so that was good against 24. We wanted the 24 short, but look at Affirm today, just cruising back to the upside. They got hit yesterday. It doesn't even look that bad, actually. Actually, I guess they didn't really. When Apple said that Apple's just doing it on their devices. Like, I don't really know why that's a huge swing for Affirm. I mean, they have that big deal with Amazon. I believe they're in Best Buys as well. So, like, to me, that Apple news just actually validates the space. Like, if Apple's getting into buy now, pay never, then honestly, that's good for Affirm. I feel like it validates the space. I know that logic seems the other way around, but like, how many people are actually using Affirm to buy Apple products? And I don't know the answer to that. So maybe I'm just wrong, but Affirm down there, like, it was just 13 and then it ripped to 30. So some of these stocks, man, have a lot of runway both ways. So just watch out. All right, maybe Apple is going to work to the downside right now, as we'll watch out for that. We're in the money barely on this, on an 84 short. Let's just put some bids out. All we're trying to do now is just pay for a cheap bottle of wine on the way home here. So let's see if we could do that now. Short, whatever, it's a couple hundred shares here in the 80s. So we'll see if we can't. Oops, that's a daily chart. We want to do this. If it blows to the upside, it's really good. It's not going to be that bad, but hopefully we could take this down. We were noticing here when we went long that basically we were respecting this 50 period until we didn't right there, and it dipped down. So let's see if we can maybe get a same break there of 148.80 or so needs to break, and then we'll see about this 70. But if we can get anything out around 70s, we'll take that and call it a day.
And actually, to that point in Affirm, just one thing on the chart here that actually matters. That is a wipeout on volume V-shaped bottom on Affirm. And I think just to sort of echo that point, I mean, look, giving credit is a lucrative business. I think everyone understands that. So it's just a matter of what is Affirm worth. I don't know what it's worth. And who knows what the business is worth. But I can tell you, a V-shaped bottom, that is a bullish move. I tried it short the one time. But when we see this, understand that now that 23 level has a little more juice to it because you had a wipeout bottom below it, and now you have the opportunity that could be a big-time runner.
All right, there we go. No, I'm rocking the Air Force Ones today. I don't know. Yeah, we don't normally say our positions, but I'll tell you, like, a couple hundred shares there. It's fine for me to tell you guys that. But right now, that cheap bottle of wine maybe just got a little expensive right there as we're now into the 60s. Let's go. Let's bring this down. I mean, like I said, a few hundred shares here. If we could do that, 30 cents in the money. You do the math, it's not bad here a little bit to end the day, so we'll still try to take out some profit here. Sorry, was I even on Apple when I was telling you that? Now come back down in. So I'm just sort of just like, Now you know why I trade like a maniac, just because, when we put the shares on, it's like, and this wasn't a big position, it's just that, when it comes back in, we want to make sure that we're able to get some out. And I don't really care about the levels right now on Apple. That was a nice move down, but it seems like it's coming back upside. So maybe that cheap bottle of wine is going to be a cheap one after all. Our best outs, though, are down here into the 60s. So those were pretty good trades for me as we continue to get more out. 70, I thought, was a good out. So the fact that we're able to get some more there makes it even a better out. So here we go, Apple. Come on, let's go. Maybe we'll pick up 2 bottles. We have 3 more minutes.
And GameStop, it was way too late in the day for me to take the trade, but 149.89 is the high. So it got right to that 150 level and then pulls right back in. So GameStop got there, it made that power move, does make the turn. It's too late in the day. AMC randomly 13.25, it looks like it stopped at, but a strong move at the end of the day for the squeeze names, up 10% almost on AMC. I'm cheering for the Jan. It does look like it's back down at that 420 level, so it is rejecting that level, unfortunately. You're also seeing Tesla reject 720. However, the NASDAQ, different story. Like, it is clearing, it's still clear of that 12.7 level. It's not really screaming any higher, but we're holding the high at 1%. That's at least a good sign. It's kind of like yesterday. Like, we were holding the low yesterday, holding positive. Now we're just sort of holding beneath that 1% mark. So plenty of volatility in individual names, even if we're still in a 1% range. And that's the key. Make sure your trading stock gets moving, because the overall market, it's not giving you those 4 or 5% moves every day.
All right. It gives me confidence to trade when you guys trade like maniacs. All right. What's up, Pedro? I hope you're not talking about me. All my trades are not maniac-style trades. I mean, all of my trades are very, very calculated. You might not think so, but again, it's just I give my ins and I give my outs to every single trade that I take. So I hope that you're able to follow them. Pretty simple, man. To me, this isn't maniac trading. It's just like what I was saying to you before. It's having, we're frozen. I was frozen there for a second. I don't know if you saw that.
My quotes are
anyways, what I'm trying to do is literally just trade what I see and basically try to do the best I can here for you guys every single day. And I think, I don't know, whatever. We don't normally talk about our share size. I don't care if I slipped up there, but whatever. A couple hundred shares for this trade is fine for me. We'll bring this back into the downside. Thank you for all the love. By the way, Nike was supposed to deliver. They're Air Maxes. Pre-days. They're called pre-days for my kid. Look, I'm just so proud of him that whatever, I'll spend. Like I said, I don't make money for myself, so I make money for the family. And so I buy him better shoes than myself. But today we just have on, I'll show you because all you guys are asking. It's just these ones, the generic ones that I always, there's fluorescent green. So they're the Air Forces. Okay, come on here, Apple. We'll pay for those shoes anyways right now. Apple to the downside. Now, this has to go about $1 more. But we'll go to the downside here. As we are getting lighter and lighter on this trade, we only have 25% left for Apple now as it's starting to go to the downside. But again, we might as well get out. I'm just going to cancel my stop. If it takes down 149, we'll get out. But hopefully Apple can get into the 60s.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to watch GameStop going into that close. It does pull back to 146. You saw him for the first time, Tony Tuesday. Tuesdays with Tony is what it's called. But he is back to ring the closing bell. It is only Tuesday, so it's a long week still to go, and it should be absolutely bonkers. The volatility that we're seeing in individual names is simply great. With 30 seconds, you are seeing the NASDAQ try to push. The market try to push, but there is a slight pullback happening. And do not sleep on the squeeze stocks that moved today. And of course, oil, which has been, that's been the story. Like, we don't talk about it enough, but certainly the individual names strong. And crypto absolutely booming to close at the end as we drop the countdown on turnaround Tuesday, maybe. We'll see. But Tony, the floor is yours, my friend, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it. That was clean.
All right, there it is. Nice little trade there for Apple. And you know, we just got out of some Apple there at 148.50. Oh, look at Apple with the move to the downside right there. I wish we would have held that, man. That was shoes for everybody there if we would have held it. But Apple, good trading there today. Thank you, Tony, for that. I mean, again, I'd like to answer more questions, but we are getting near the end of this. What amount stop loss do you allow? I mean, every
stock's different.
Yeah, it's not even just about every stock's different. It's like, you know, I use technical levels for my outs. So the stop losses happen when they happen. I can tell you that we had 12 and a half years of no negative months, and we don't have a negative months this year either. So, so far so good on what we've been doing. But let's go over to Brendan over there and see how the market finished.
Nice rally, guys, into the close there for all U.S. markets. So we were wondering if it was going to continue to the downside this morning. Not the case. Here we go. 0.93 for the S&P. 0.8 there for both the Dow and the NASDAQ. Back to the upside. TSX here in Toronto. Also positive. Brazil negative. Crude, yeah. Holding at 120 and even above 120 for crude oil. So 1.3 there. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Bitcoin off the lows as well. What a move back higher. Remember, both Bitcoin and Ethereum were down 6.5% at one point today.
It was a bit of a jailbreak back. I mean, it doesn't look like, obviously you're going to see them down, right, like crypto, but that doesn't really tell you the story, right? Sometimes you have to look at the chart. You'll see like flat or barely down in session, and that ain't going to tell you what happened. It's the same thing with oil futures. I mean, you're going to see up 1%, but let's have a look at what actually happened at 1 o'clock, the big reversal that it made. So sometimes that's what it's all about. There wasn't a lot in the way of earnings, obviously, but certainly a good end of the day here.
All right, so right now, guys, just so everybody understands here, that Apple trade, good little out there. Thank you to Tony for the Tuesdays with Tony. We'll get that all figured out. And thank you to everybody for watching, man. It's been a big, huge show. The only problem that I have right now is there's still people watching. We only have 800 likes. If you guys can hit the like button for us, man. We split the streams up again. Well, I want this closing show to be at least at 1,000. If we don't get 1,000, I'm canceling the Tuesdays with Tony. So there it is. Let's see if we can get to that. I'll check it back later. Let me know if you like Tuesdays with Tony by hitting that like button. There it is, 9:53. So we almost got it right there. A couple more likes and Tuesdays with Tony will continue. And there it is, 9:86. You guys are welcome. It's a money segment. So there it is, 1.1K. We asked for likes and instantly get a 30% boost. 1.2K now. Thank you so much. That's what we're talking about. That's what it's all about here on the show. Thank you for the love, our viewers, man. That's why we love you so, so much. Every single day we're back, and we're back to make a lot of money, and hopefully tomorrow is another one of those days. Fahad, it's time to go, my man. That guy's been working real hard all day there. Thank you to Fahad. Thank you to Lucas. Thanks to Brendo there on the big screen. Prad's over here talking up a jam there. Thanks to Neil. Lots of great trades today. Tesla's your trade of the day, and it's coming up now. See you guys.